it's light up time. He's happy, go lucky, it's light up time. For the taste that you like, light up a lucky strike. You'll say it's the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked.
Well, hi, everyone. This is Jerry Doggett with Vince Scully and Al Helfer, and here we are at Ebbets Field in Brooklyn, about to bring you the Dodgers and the Chicago Cubs. Today's game, like all the Dodger games this season, will be brought to you by Lucky Strike, the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked. It's made by the American Tobacco Company, and tobacco is our middle name. And the F&M Schaefer Brewing Company of Brooklyn, brewers of Schaefer Beer, America's oldest lager beer. We'll give you the rundown on today's lineups in just a moment. Down at home plate, they're going over the ground rules. Captain Pee Wee Reese and Bob Sheffing and the umpires have been talking things over. And in a couple of minutes, they'll be battling it out on the diamond. Yep, the game's going to start soon. And while you're anticipating that pleasure, how about realizing the here and now enjoyment of a genuine cigarette? In other words, light up a Lucky. A cigarette that's everything it should be. It's all cigarette, all fine tobacco. Tobacco that's toasted to taste even better. Cleaner, fresher, smoother. So dig out those Luckies. You've got a fresh pack handy, haven't you? And light up the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked. Lucky Strike. Well, this afternoon, it's Game 3 of the series between the Dodgers and the Chicago Cubs. The Dodgers won a doubleheader from Chicago last night by scores of 6-3 in 10 innings and 5-3 in the nightcap. For today's game, Don Drysdale goes to the mound with a 7-6 record, and he's beaten Chicago twice this year. He pitched 2 complete game victories against the Cubs, winning 7-2 at Ebbets Field and 4-0 at Jersey City. Opposed will be Dave Hillman, who has made 10 starts during his major league career and has no complete games. He has never won as a starter. 1 win and 6 losses on the air. So it'll be Hillman going against Drysdale, and we'll give you the starting lineups in just a moment. Right now, here is our national anthem. Down on the batting orders for today's game. Leading off for Chicago, playing center field, will be Bob Will. The first baseman will be Bob Speak. At shortstop, Ernie Banks. In right field, Walt Morin. In left field, Lee Walls. At third base, Jerry Tyndall. And the second baseman, Bobby Morgan. Charlie Silvera doing the catching, and right-hander Dave Hillman to do the pitching. For the Dodgers, Charlie Neal at shortstop. Junior Gilliam at second base. Duke Snyder in center field. Gil Hodges at first base. Sandy Amoros in left field. Gino Samoli in right field. Randy Jackson at third base. Johnny Roseboro doing the catching, and Don Drysdale to do the pitching. The umpires for today's game will be Stan Landis behind the plate, Baker, Dascoli, and Sikori on the base paths. Well, a beautiful, bright, sunshiny day here in Brooklyn. And some good seats still available for this ball game, so if you're in the neighborhood and would like to spend a pleasant Saturday afternoon with us, come on out to Ebbets Field and take in the ball game. Ought to be a good one. The Dodgers, who have really been going on the homestand against the Western clubs, have won 8 and lost 1 against the Western clubs, 2 against Cincinnati, 2 against Milwaukee, 2 and 1 with St. Louis, and 2 and 0 with the Chicago Cubs. So 8 and 1 on the homestand against the Western club since the All-Star break has moved the Dodgers from 5 games back in 5th place to 1 game off in 2nd place, trailing the Milwaukee Braves by just 1 game. Against the Cubs on the year, the Dodgers have won 9 and have lost 1. And they have won 25 out of the 28 last games played between these clubs here at Ebbets Field. The Dodgers this year against the Cubs, 5 and 0 at Brooklyn, 1 and 0 at Jersey City, and 3 and 1 at Chicago. So today, Don Drysdale takes the mound. Don, 7 and 6. Has 79 strikeouts and only 29 walks in 116 innings. Drysdale, by the way, coming up to his 21st birthday in about 3 days. On the 23rd of July, Don will turn 21. In 10 innings against the Cubs, he's allowed only 2 runs, 1 earned, 12 hits with 3 walks, and 14 strikeouts. The Dodgers are on the field now with Jackson at third, Neal at short, Gilliam at second, Hodges at first. The outfield is Amorose in left, Snyder in center, and Samoli in right. Captain is John Roseborough, who came into his own last night with a 10th inning 2-run home run to win the first game. And doing the pitching, Don Drysdale. Leading off for the Chicago Cubs will be the center fielder, Bob Will. And stepping in now for the play-by-play for Lucky Strike, here's Vin Scully. Vin?
Thank you, Jerry, and good afternoon, everybody, and a very pleasant day to you, wherever you may be. It's come up fine and hot in New York. Good day for a game. Light sky up above and a light breeze blowing out towards right. Bob Will, Bob Speak, and Ernie Banks facing Don Drysdale as we're ready to go on this Ladies' Day Saturday afternoon. Hope you'll be with us tomorrow for the big doubleheader with Chicago. Drysdale's first pitch, a fastball on the outside corner, and so we have begun. Bob Will had a fairly long night, as did all of the Cubs last evening. Will went 1 for 8 and struck out 4 times. His last time up, he had a base hit, so he had one pleasant dream. Fastball, a comebacker, backhanded by Drysdale. It turns and makes his play. 1 up, 1 away. Well, I trust you slept well last night. There's no excuse for Al or Jerry or myself. If we boot a couple of plays today, that's just the way it's going to be. But if we have the batting averages wrong and the base hits wrong, et cetera, well then, please forgive our demon statistician, Alan Ross. He put in quite a night. Bob Street batting .253 with 6 home runs, 24 RBIs, and a breaking ball is outside, ball 1. What Alan Roth did after the Twilight Night doubleheader in order to compile all his figures, he was here at Ebbets Field till 3 o'clock in the morning. Got home a little after 4, went to bed and stayed in bed till he had nothing better to do and got up at 8. Pitch is outside to speak. Ball 2, 2-0. So the man at the wheel today is nodding a little bit with about 3 hours and 40 minutes of sleep. Waiting now. Drysdale delivers 2-0, and the pitch is at the corner on the knees. 2-1. Stan Landers, the plate umpire. Bill Baker at first. Frank Dascoli at second, and Frank Sikori on the line at third. Freddie Fitzsimmons coaching at first, and George Myatt around at third. The 2-1 pitch now to speak. Fastball chopped away foul right over to Tex Rickard. 2-2. Lucky Strike blowing smoke rings to you and wishing you the very best wherever you may be. Hope you're having a fine weekend. Ernie Banks waiting on deck. Drysdale ready and the 2-2 pitch. Fastball outside. Ball 3. Full count. Quite a night here at Ebbets Field. A wonderful occasion in the Dodger dressing room, and beaming this morning, Mr. Gil Hodges. Gil had a night he'll long remember. The full count pitch to Bob Speak. Changeup cut on and floated to center. Snyder on the run, but it dropped in for the base hit. So Bob Speak singles to center with 1 out in the first inning, and the batter will be Ernie Banks. But now that we have doffed our caps and given a low bow from the waist to Mr. Gil Hodges, let us not forget and let us concentrate on the night of August the 20th. That'll be after our third Western trip, when we'll salute Carl Furillo. And oddly enough, the Dodgers will be playing the Chicago Cubs that night. Ernie Banks batting .267. Drysdale delivers, and the breaking ball is outside. Ball one. Either the date wrong on Furillo. Make it August 28th. 2-8. Drysdale set, takes a peek over at Bob Speak. Now comes to the plate, and the fastball is cut on and fouled away. 1-1. I guess the Cubs figure that that's a Dodger booby trap to have a night for a player when they're in town and stir up the ball club. The Dodgers, in saluting Hodges last evening, won their first doubleheader of the year. Now the Cubs, apprised of the fact that we'll be saluting Furillo on August 28th. Throw to first, Bob Speak back. Just the start of things, in case you might have just tuned in. Don Drysdale and Dave Hillman. Drysdale ready, and the 1-1er. Low curve on the inside corner for a strike. 1-2. Drysdale is about to celebrate a birthday. It's the 23rd, and he's already receiving his birthday card. He'll be 21 years old on July 23rd. And boy, you should see some of the birthday cards that young Don received from the fair sex. 1-2 pitches cut on and fouled away. Holding count 1-2. Don, good-looking young fella, big and tall, and a famous Major League ball player already in his young career. And oh, he's getting those mushy cards with the violets and the little hearts on them. And getting quite a ribbing about it, too. Banks waiting, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Drysdale ready, checks Bob Speak at first, now comes to the plate. And the fastball is lined into left center for a base hit. That'll go to the wall. Speak makes his turn and goes to third. The relay going into second to Gilliam, not in time to get Ernie Banks. So Banks doubles into left center, and just like that, the Cubs have runners at second and third with 1 out. First base open, and the batter, Walt Morin, hitting .308. 12 home runs, 51 runs batted in. Drysdale, 7-6 with the lead. He's beaten the Cubs twice. And he's on the ropes right here in the first inning. Don looks in to get his sign. Bob Speak coming down off third. Ernie Banks a short lead from second. 1 out. Drysdale winds and delivers. Fastball on the corners. Strike 1. On tab in both leagues today, Milwaukee and the Giants, with Trowbridge opposing Ruben Gomez. Cincinnati at Philadelphia, it'll be Jeffcoat and Hearn. Cardinals and Pirates are tied 2-2 at the end of 2 innings. Dixon against Friend. We'll tell you about the American League in a moment. Morin waiting, 0-1 the count. On deck, Lee Walls. Drysdale delivers. Fastball, it moves away. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Yankees in Cleveland, it'll be Bobby Shands and Early Wynn. Red Sox and White Sox, probable pitchers, Nixon and Donovan. Washington, Detroit, Kemmerer and Larry. Baltimore and Kansas City, Johnson and Portocarrero. So not too much to report this early stage. Drysdale to his full windup. The 1-1 pitch to Walt Morin. Low and inside at his knees. Ball 2. 2-1. Don Drysdale and young Johnny Roseboro, the battery. Then it's Hodges, Gilliam, Neal, and Jackson. The outfield, Ambrose, with a left cheekbone still puffed a little bit after banging into the left field wall. Snyder in center, and Simoli in right. Drysdale ready, and the 2-1 pitch to Morin. Fastball, foul back. 2-2. It should be quite a day tomorrow. Mo Grabowski and Bob Rush going for Chicago. Carl Erskine will definitely work in 1 ball game, and maybe Don Newcomb. Newcomb has come up with the hives. The question as to whether he'll be able to assume the starting role tomorrow. If he can't make it, then it will be either Danny McDevitt or Roger Craig, depending upon the bullpen activity today. Drysdale delivers 2-2, and a sharp curve, a half swing, but more in checks, and it's full count. About 5,000 knothole youngsters out there in left field, plus a number of ladies, so we're guaranteed we'll have quite a bit of noise here today, which is always the way to have it. Drysdale Drysdale staring down the barrel. Now he's ready. The full count pitch to Waldmorn. Slow curve, grounded to Hodges. A run will score. Drysdale didn't even cover at first, and Hodges does it by himself. Drysdale, perhaps still thinking about the double hit by Ernie Banks, pulled a mental error, but luckily, Hodges was able to get to the bag as Drysdale remained right at the mound. So Bob Speed carries over a run. Banks advances to third. 2 down in the first inning, and the Cubs have a run. The batter, Lee Walls. Walls hitting .234. He had 2 home runs last night. He now has 4. 26 runs batted in. Drysdale takes a look over at Ernie Banks as he inches down the line in foul ground. Now Don goes to his windup. The pitch to Lee Walls. Fastball, low and inside. Ball 1. Stan Landis, the plate umpire. Bill Baker at first. Pescoli at second. Sikori at third. Drysdale right back to the plate 1-0, and the fastball stays low and inside. Ball 2. 2-0. Here in the first inning with 1 out. Speak singled, Banks doubled, and Moran grounded out as the run came over. Drysdale has his sign wig-wagged out by Johnny Roseboro. Slow curve, and that misses outside. Ball 3. On deck, young Jerry Kindle. Dodgers in second place, trailing Milwaukee by 1 game, and the Cubs in last place, trailing by 20 and a half. They are now at the stage where they ask which way they go. 3-0 pitch, way inside, ball 4. So Lee Walls trots to first. That'll bring up Jerry Kindle with a .202 batting average. He has 4 home runs, 7 runs batted in. Jackson comes to the mound to talk to Drysdale for a moment. Down a little bit disgusted. He has to fight himself out there when things aren't going too well. He's the type who gets a red neck and quickly. Kindle, the batter, runners at first and third with 2 out in the first inning. The Cubs have a run. Drysdale checks and delivers. Curveball cut on and missed for a strike. 0-1. Now the strike 1 pitch. Walls goes. It's fouled away. 0-2. So Lee Walls going on the pitch. Jerry Kindle fouls her off, and the count 0-2. With young Johnny Roseboro back of the plate, not a seasoned catcher, the Cubs might very well try and act up on the base paths all afternoon long. The 0-2 pitch, curve outside, stabbed right in the webbing of the glove by Roseboro. 1-2. Drysdale looks in. Johnny Roseboro shuffles cards back of the plate. Now we're ready. The 1-2 pitch, curveball, got him swinging, and that wraps it up. Jerry Kindle strikes out for Chicago in the first inning. They pick up a run on a single, a double, and a walk. 2 men left on. There were no Dodger errors. The end of half an inning, Chicago won, and the Dodgers coming up. Tell you about a big schedule, not just at home. The Dodgers go on the road, and we have some television plans for you to boot. So while the Cubs take the field, let's listen to Jerry.
Okay, Vinny, of course, tomorrow the big doubleheader winds up this homestand with the Chicago Cubs. It'll be a doubleheader tomorrow starting at 2 o'clock. The Dodgers then have an off day on Monday and then go into St. Louis for a 3-game series. And the TV games will be on Wednesday and Thursday of next week from St. Louis, 8:55 airtime. And those games are on Wednesday and Thursday night, July 25th and 26th in St. Louis on WOR TV and, of course, on the Dodger Network on radio. After St. Louis, the Dodgers go to Cincinnati for a weekend next week and then have a day off on the following Monday. Play Chicago 5 games in 3 days at Chicago and wind up the road trip with 3 games in Milwaukee over a weekend. Then Then they come back to New York to play the New York Giants at Ebbets Field, opening a 4-game series on Monday night, August the 5th. 4 games with the Giants, 3 of them at Ebbets Field and 1 at Jersey City. And after a trip to Pittsburgh and New York, it's back home to again entertain the Western Club on a long homestand during the last part of August. We'd like to suggest that you make your plans to be on hand at Ebbets Field. If you're coming in a party or group, contact Jim Murray, Box 55, Brooklyn 1, New York. Otherwise, make your ticket arrangements and be sure and do your ticket shopping early. All right, back to play in the last of the first inning, and for Lucky Strike, here's Ben.
Charlie Neal, who has been quite a bulwark on defense at shortstop and also playing fine ball up there at the plate. He's hitting .267. 6 home runs, 28 runs batted in. Neal, Gilliam, and Snyder, the way the Dodgers come up here in the bottom of the first. The Cubs have a run, and the Dodgers now trying to get back in and even it up. Dave Hillman looks in to get a sign from Charlie Silvera. Hillman winds and delivers. Overhand fastball on the inside corner for a strike. Going 1. Neal started to drop that bat through his hands as if he might bunt, then touch. Hillman, 1 win and 6 defeats. His 1 victory came in relief. He has never won in the majors as a starter. 0-1 against Brooklyn. Strike 1 pitch to Neal. Fastball hits slowly up along third. Kendall up with it cleanly. Makes his play to first in time. 1 up, 1 away. Junior Gilliam batting .268. 1 home run, 22 runs batted in. Looks in to get his sign. Silvera blinks it out to him now, and the right-hander ready to go to work. Delivers to Gilliam. Overhand fastball low and outside. Ball 1. 1-0. On deck, Duke Snider. Duke's been really coming alive with that bat of late. We told you before Alan Roth hadn't been sleeping too well last night, and the same story for Snider. Boy, Duke had a rough night. He looked it on the bench today. 1-0 pitch to Gilliam. Fastball bounced up to first. Cobb speaks. Underhands to Hillman covering in time for the out. 2 down. Snyder was moaning on the bench that after the Twilight Night doubleheader, by the time he got home and got to bed, it was around 2 o'clock. And the children in the family decided to make some noise at 6:15. Snyder said it sounded like Custer's Last Band in the bedroom this morning. So he's working on 4 hours sleep. The Duke also working on a .282 batting average with 23 home runs, 54 runs batted in. The outfield deep and around the right. Snyder waiting at the plate now as Hillman goes to his windup and delivers way outside. Ball 1. On deck, the honor man of last evening, Gil Hodges. Chant begins to well up on the left field stands where the knothole kids are. We want a hit. Hillman winds, and the 1-0 pitch to Snyder. Sharp curve, cut on and missed. 1-1. Last of the first inning, Cubs 1, Dodgers nothing. The end of an inning, Milwaukee and the Giants, no score. So we'll watch that one carefully. The 1-1 pitch to Snyder. Sharp curve on the corners. Strike 2. 1-2 the count. The count against him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hillman ready, and back he comes. 1-2. Fastball just inside. He didn't miss by much. 2-2. Lucky Strike sending it all to you from Ebbets Field in Brooklyn with the big doubleheader tomorrow. Both Grabowski and Bob Rush for Chicago. Erskine and Newcomb the probables, and if Newcomb can't make it, then either Craig or McDevitt to fill in. But Erskine definitely going in 1. Hillman back to work now, and the 2-2 pitch to Snyder. Fastball, a half swing, it's up high. Ball 3. Snyder just did check. Full count. Hillman takes a deep sigh out there in the mound. Now bends at the waist to get a shine. Snyder waiting. Hillman winds, and the 3-2 pitch. Slow curve inside, ball 4. So Snyder walks. And that will bring up Gil Hodges. Gil Hodges, of course, greatly appreciative of the wonderful night last night. All the gifts and the honors heaped upon himself and his family. But he summed it all up after the long doubleheader, sitting in front of his locker room with a big, shy grin on his face last night. He just said, "Phew, I'm glad that's over." He was on quite a spot. Hillman delivers, and the pitch outside, ball 1. 1-0. Hodges last evening had 2 hits, 1 hit in each game. His second hit came in the first inning of the second game and cashed in his 1,000th run batted in of his major league career. Outside of that, he didn't hit the ball very hard the rest of the night. But he could do no wrong. Not before 28,000 folks. The 1-0 pitch to Gil. A half curve that's just on the corner for a strike. Didn't break very much. 1-1. With 2 out, and Snyder, who has good speed at first base, the Cubs are figuring that Snyder might be trying to steal. So on every pitch, Charlie Silvera angles his body, ready to get a throw off down to second. Milwaukee at bat in the second inning. They've scored a run, and they're still swinging. Braves 1, Giants nothing in the second. Cincinnati did not score in the first inning against Philadelphia. Cardinals and Pirates are tied 2-2 at the end of 2. Hillman checks Snyder. The 1-1 pitch to Hodges, a high fastball, ball 2. 2-1. Leans on his left knee while he looks in to get his sign. Snyder a short lead off first, held on by Bob Speak. 1-0 Cubs, last of the first inning. The 2-1 pitch, fastball, a line drive, deflected by pitcher Hillman, who scampers, picks up the ball, throws, not in time to first base, and Hillman was strung right off the right hand. That ball hit him, coming back like a bullet. Hillman walking off and holding the right hand out, and he got it on the middle finger. So as Hillman walks off, holding that right hand out, Bob Shelton comes over to look at it. And it's cut right at the nail. You can spot a little fleck of blood there. And Sheffing makes a motion down in his bullpen to get a man ready. So poor Dave Hillman has had it. He fires his glove in disgust into the dugout, rings that middle finger, and then goes and sits down. So Hodges literally gets a base hit off Dave Hillman and knocks him out of the ballgame. A line drive about face high, and Hillman fortunately got his hands up. Unfortunately, instead of the glove hand, the bare hand took the force of the blow. So the Cubs form quite a knot around him now in the dugout, and Hillman will be taken back to the dressing room. Don Kaiser is coming in from the Chicago bullpen. It's a line drive right back at Dave Hillman for a base hit. Snyder goes to second on the play, and Hillman has that ball hit him right off the middle finger, right at the nail. Probably tore the nail a bit, and he had to come out. Would no longer be able to grip the baseball. So that's a tough break for the Cubs and for young Hillman, who is still looking for his first victory in a starting role in the major league. And he is driven out on 1 pitch today. Kaiser, of course, coming out to the mound, did not warm up in the bullpen. He can take just as long as he wants out there in the mound. He does not have to take the maximum of 8 required pitches, and that's enough. He can just throw now till he feels ready, so he just stand aside and wait. And while young Don begins to loosen up and get the feel of the mound and get that arm ready, maybe you folks might have missed some of the ball games that were played last evening. You'd like to also get the Major League standings set in your mind, and then if we have time, we'll check the scores again. So let's get over to Jerry while Kaiser warms up.
Okay, Ben, in the National League last night, the Dodgers won a doubleheader from Chicago, 6-3 and 5-3. The first game going 10 innings on Gil Hodges' night. Milwaukee beat the Giants 3-1. Pittsburgh beat St. Louis 7-0 as Vern Law shut him out and beat Vaughn McDaniel. And Cincinnati behind Joe Nuxhall beat Philadelphia and Jack Sanford. So the Phillies took a tumble into fifth place, and the crazy mixed-up National League standings now have Milwaukee on top by 1 game over the Dodgers. St. Louis is in third, 2 games out, and are 1 percentage point ahead of Cincinnati. The Red Legs also are 2 games behind. Philadelphia is in fifth place, 2.5 back, with New York 10.5, Pittsburgh 17.5, and Chicago 20.5. And figuring it out quickly, if the Dodgers win today from the Cubs and the Giants beat Milwaukee, the Dodgers could go into first place by a percentage point or 2. In the American League, the Yankees continue to roll, and they clobbered Cleveland 9-1, while the Boston Red Sox beat Chicago 5-2. Detroit beat Washington 4-1, and Baltimore beat Kansas City 4-2. So the Yankees now, setting the pattern as in past years, after a slow start, are breezing along with a 6-game lead over second-place Chicago, and it looks like it might be all over in the American League race. New York 6 games ahead of Chicago, with Boston in third, 12 games out. Cleveland 14.5, Detroit 15.5, and Baltimore 16. Then Kansas City 26, and Washington 30. So that's the result of last night's games and the standings as we go into action for today. Here are some scores. St. Louis has scored 4 runs in the top of the third inning and lead the Pirates 6-2. Both clubs got a pair of runs in the first inning, and then in the third inning, Dale Ennis hit a home run with 2 on, and St. Louis leads 6-2 through 3 innings of play. In that ball game at Pittsburgh, it's Murray Dixon against Bob Friend, who was knocked out and replaced by King in the third. Dixon starting with a 4-2 record, and Friend 7-11. In the ball game at the Polo Grounds, Milwaukee now has scored 3 runs in the second inning and are still at bat. Trowbridge going against Gomez. Trowbridge, a last-minute starter in place of Warren Spahn. His record 3-2, and Gomez was 11-8, and is being cuffed around a bit in the second inning as Milwaukee has scored 3 times. Cincinnati and Philadelphia, Jeffcoat against Hearn. Jeffcoat 8-7, and Hearn is 4-1. There's no score at the end of a half inning of play, and that one at Philadelphia. In the American League, the Yankees play Cleveland at Cleveland, and there's no score at the end of 1 inning. It's Bobby Chance with a 9-2 record against Early Wynn, who is 12-10. Boston playing at Chicago. Sisler against Donovan. Sisler is 7-5, and Donovan is 8-3 for Chicago. Washington at Detroit. The game has not started. Kimmerer 3-6 against Larry, who is 4-11. Baltimore playing at Kansas City. Baltimore Johnson 7-6, and Kansas City 4-0, who is 3-4. Don Kaiser still warming up on the mound. He gets as much time to warm up, of course, as he wants, since Dave Hillman, the starter, was subbed out of the box and taken out because of an injury. So before we get back to action, let's pause now for station identification. This is the Brooklyn Dodgers Radio Network.
Dial 1460 WOKO Albany. WOKO, the Capital District's most talked about station, with downtown studios in the Hotel Wellington. Correct WOKO time now, 28 minutes after 2 o'clock. And now back to Brooklyn Dodger baseball.
For Chicago, with Dave Hillman out, Don Kaiser comes on now. Young Don has been in 17 games, and he's started 12, so he's now in his 18th ball game. He's worked 65 in the third innings within last night's game. He has struck out 20, walked 24, and his record against the league is 2 wins and 5 losses. So Kaiser now has completed warm-up tosses, and now Charlie Silvera goes out to check signals with him. Sandy Amaro stepping to bat with Duke Snyder on second, Gil Hodges on first. So back to the action, and here's Vin.
Well, it's a real tough break for Dave Hillman, the young fella making his 11th start in the major leagues. He had never won a ball game as a starter. He doesn't start that often. I imagine a few days ago he was told by Bob Chipping that, well, you'll start on Saturday. And like all young ball players, just waited for the day, hoped he had his stuff, finally went out to the mound. And the first inning, a line drive hits him off the finger, and he has to come out. Well, you play this game, you'll have your heart broken a number of ways. All right, Sandy Amoros batting against Don Kaiser. Runners at first and second, 2 out on the first. The Cubs have a run. Amoros had a couple of base hits, each one driving in a run in the first game last night. Kaiser's curve is belted to right center field. Bourne going back. That's going to be off the wall. And the carom is played by Bob Will, the center fielder. In comes Snyder. Hodges forgot to touch third and then gets back on a good throw by Bobby Morgan. But Amoros doubles off the right center field wall, and she's all tied 1-1. To further disconcert Dave Hillman and all his troubles, he could conceivably be the losing pitcher. The run that came over belongs to Hillman. Hodges at third belongs to Hillman. So if Hodges gets over and the Dodgers take the lead and the Cubs never do at least tie up the ball game, poor Hillman will really have had a bad day. Gino Cimoli batting .299. He's right in the depths of a bitter batting slump right now. He had 9 home runs and 37 runs batted in. Amoros at second, Hodges at third, 2 out. A 1-1 tie in the first. Don Kaiser taking over for the injured Hillman, sends a fastball in for the strike, 0-1. The Giants finally quieted the Braves, but not before Milwaukee picked up 3 runs in the second inning. So at the end of an inning and a half, Braves 3, Giants nothing. 1-1 to Cimoli. Kaiser winds and delivers. Curveball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. With 2 outs, Snyder walks. Hodges hit a line drive right back off Hillman's fingers for a base hit and to get Hillman out of the game. Amoros has just doubled off the wall to drive in the tying run. Bob Will, the center fielder for the Cubs, has a good arm. He's a left-handed center fielder. Throws very well. 1-1 is a curveball low, ball 2. 2-1. For with 2 out, anytime you hit that wall in right center, you usually figure to get both runs in. Hodges took an awkward turn at third base. I think he might have missed the back corner of the bag anyway, but Herman had put the stop sign on. Will had played the carom perfectly, fired to Morgan, who in turn relayed to the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Kaiser winds now. The 2-1 pitch to Cimoli. A breaking ball. That's over. 2-2. So deuces wild here in the first inning of a 1-1 tie. Gil Hodges at third, Sandy Amoros at second, and Randy Jackson on deck. Kaiser has a sign now from Charlie Silvera. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball reached for and dribbled foul outside third. Holding count 2-2. There's now no hits in his last 17 at-bats. 2-2 pitch to Gino. Fastball. There's a high drive to right field. Walt Bourne going back to the base of the wall. He's got his base hit. It bounces away. Hodges and Amoros score on a double by Cimoli. Will falls down fielding the carom, and Cimoli goes to third. And the Dodgers now lead 3-1. Cimoli hit a high drive off the right field wall. And the carom shot by Walt Bourne. Bob Will, the center fielder, came over to play the carom and fell to his knees. And that allowed Cimoli to take the extra base. And Will, of course, having fallen down, is given the error. So Cimoli doubles to right and goes to third on Bob Will's error. Gino with a base hit breaking the drought and drives in 2. Hodges and Amoros easily scoring. 2 runs charged to Hillman, 1 run charged to Kaiser. Dodgers lead 3-1 in the first inning, 2 out. Cimoli at third base and Randy Jackson the batter. Kaiser delivers the curve low and away, ball 1. Kaiser came on with runners at first and second and 2 out. Then back-to-back doubles by Amoros and Cimoli have pushed the Dodgers out in front. Jackson batting .205 with 4 runs batted in. The 1-0 pitch to Randy. Curveball, that stays a little high. Ball 2, 2-0. Kaiser appeared last night in relief. Took over for Tom Poholsky. Kaiser pitched 2 innings of relief and retired to silent orders. Here in the first inning today in relief, he's being roughed up a bit. Dodgers 3, Cubs 1, first inning. 2-0 pitch to Jackson. Curve whacked into left field. That's a base hit. In comes Somoli. And it is 4-1 Brooklyn. Then the cannonading continues. Hit number 3 off Kaiser. The second run that he's allowed, and a troubled Bob Sheffing. Motion to the bullpen to get somebody else up. Jim Brosnan begins to loosen up now as Johnny Roseboro steps in. All this going on with 2 outs. Dodgers 4, Chicago 1. Kaiser's fastball is too low to Roseboro, ball 1. John looked like a man who had just had a big Thanksgiving dinner today. He was just sitting back on the bench with the most amiable grin you ever saw. Well, last night he got his feet wet, and he did so in a proud manner. He won the first ball game with a 3-run home run. Curveball is nubbed halfway out to the mound. Kaiser fields it, throws him out, and that's it. So Roseboro hits back to the box, and that closes things out. Not, however, before the Dodgers, after the first 2 men had gone out, come up with 4 runs. On 4 hits, they leave a man, and there was 1 Cub error. At the end of an inning of play, Brooklyn 4 runs on 4 hits, then Chicago 1 run on 2 hits. Now a few words from Jerry.
Say, did you know that baseball players often speak in numbers? For example, do you know who Mr. 2-4 is on the Brooklyn club? That's right, Mr. Manager Walt Alston. You see, players have a habit of calling the manager and sometimes other players by number instead of by name. Enough for numbers. Now let's speak in letters like LS, MFT. That's easily translated. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. All fine tobacco, naturally mild, good-tasting tobacco, that toasts the taste even better. Cleaner, fresher, smoother. Light up a Lucky right now. You'll say it's the best-tasting cigarette you ever smoked. Well, we go to the second inning now with a 4-1 lead for the Dodgers. And it'll be Bobby Morgan, Charlie Silvera, and Don Kaiser due on to face Don Drysdale. So back to the play, and here's Ben.
Well, Bobby hitting .226. He has 2 home runs and 11 runs batted in. Quite a scene here at Ebbets Field of late with Roy Campanella warming up the pitcher every time Johnny Roseboro has to put on the gear. Roseboro, of course, tapped to be the heir apparent back of the plate. Campanella doing everything possible to teach the young man all his tricks back of the plate and also in hitting. And when Roseboro hit that home run to win the first game in 10 innings last evening, the first man who shot out of the Dodger dugout to meet him at home plate was Campanella. Drysdale delivers to Morgan, and the fastball that sinks is cut on and missed for a strike, on 1. Sheffing motions to his bullpen now and get somebody up again, so it might be he'll go to his bench for Kaiser. Drysdale back again with a strike 1 serve, and that misses. No, it's on the corner. Excuse me, on 2. Drysdale back again with a curve that's cut on. Is a high drive to deep left field. Ambrose back near the wall. Has a chance for it now and makes the play. High fly ball to deep left field. 1 up, 1 away. Jim Brosnan throwing again in the Chicago bullpen. And the batter will be Charlie Silvera, hitting .222. Charlie with 1 run batted in. Drysdale gets a sign from Johnny Roseboro. Now Don delivers, and the fastball low and inside, ball 1. You know, umpires are just like ball players. You have to watch them a while and make your own book on exactly how they work down there on the field. and watching Stan Landis back of the plate. Fastball is hit to the hole and through for a base hit. So Silvera singles with 1 out. Landis, a very deliberate umpire, and it's all to his credit. What Stan will do is look at the pitch, then straighten up, and then slowly bring that hand up. So you really have to wait on the call. So we'll just take our time. The batter should be Don Kaiser, but instead Jim Bolger is coming up to bat. Bolger, utility outfielder, B-O-L-G-E-R.
Hitting for Don Kaiser.
Kaiser worked 1/3 of an inning, gave up 3 hits and 2 runs. Hard luck Dave Hillman, however, as of this moment, must take the burden of the defeat. After only pitching to 4 batters. Jim Bolger coming up. Bolger right-hand batter. 1 out, 2nd inning. Charlie Silvera at first base. Dodgers 4, Chicago 1. Drysdale turns on the rubber, now set. Works the plate and his curve in the dirt back to the backstop, and on the wild pitch, Charlie Silvera goes to second. Roseboro never had a chance, although he attempted to backhand it. The ball actually bounced in the left-hand hitter's box, to give you an idea how far away from the plate it was. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, the Braves are trying to scalp the Giants and do it quickly. They got 3 runs in the 2nd inning. They scored 1 in the 3rd, and they're still at bat. So the Braves 4, the Giants nothing in the 3rd. Drysdale looks at second, the 1-0 pitch. Fastball unintentionally looped to right field for a base hit. Tamoli charging. Going to third is Silvera. They'll hold him there, and the throw goes to Gilliam. All Bolger tried to do is check his swing, and the ball hit his bat and looped to right for a base hit. Oh, with 1 out, the Cubs come up with back-to-back singles. 4 hits now off Don Drysdale. Runners at first and third with 1 out, and Walter Alston walks down to the far corner of the dugout and will perhaps get on the phone and talk to his bullpen. Bob Will, the batter, hit back to the box in the 1st inning, hitting .243. Dodger infield in double play depth. However, Randy Jackson is up almost even with the bag at third. Sidearm fastball is low and inside. Ball 1. No doubt about it, Drysdale having control problems out there. Alston has talked to the bullpen, hung up the phone. No one throwing as yet. Clem Labine gets up off the Dodger bench and walks on down towards the bullpen. The 1-0 pitch to Bob Will. Down low, ball 2, 2-0. Jim Bolger at first. Charlie Silvera at third. 1 out in the 2nd inning. Brooklyn 4, Chicago 1. A doubleheader tomorrow. Drysdale set. Now the 2-0 pitch. Fastball sliced to left field. Ambrose fairly shallow. Makes the catch. Silvera not a fast man. They hold him on a 1-bounce strike to the plate by Ambrose. Will slices out to shallow left. Ambrose made a nice throw to the plate. Silvera, of course, is very slow, and George Myatt at third had no idea of ever sending Charlie in. 2 down, runners at first and third, and the batter, Bob Speak. Single to center in the 1st inning, batting .257. Braves settle for 1 run. So at the end of 2.5 innings, Milwaukee 4 and the Giants nothing. The pitch to Bob Speak is cut on and fouled at the plate, held by Johnny Roseboro, 0-1. The end of 3 innings, the Cardinals 6 and the Pirates 2. Lucky Strike sending it all to you from Ebbets Field in Brooklyn. The strike 1 pitch to Speak, fastball too low. Roseboro had trouble finding it, and Big Landers leaped high in the air to give him some room. 1-1. Pitch to Bob Speak, a fastball outside. Ball 2, 2-1. Bolger at first, Silvera at third, 2 outs. Brosnan, loosening up in the bullpen, will be pitching to Brooklyn in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Drysdale delivers 2-1. Speak swings, a bouncer to Gilliam. Jim up with it cleanly, throws to Hodges, and that does it. For the Cubs in the 2nd, no runs, 2 hits. It was a wild pitch, 2 men left on. No Dodger errors. At the end of an inning and a half, Brooklyn 4, Chicago 1, and just like that, back to Jerry.
Well, say, fans, take a guess at the time here in Brooklyn. See how close you can get. Well, if you said it was 2:45, then you're exactly right. And if you went a little further and said that it also was light-up time, then you're thinking the same thing I am. Yes, sir? The time to touch a match to a lucky strike. Time to settle back to the real, deep-down smoking enjoyment of this truly genuine cigarette. And believe me, a Lucky is just that. Genuine because it's all cigarette, all fine tobacco. Mild, naturally good-tasting tobacco that's toasted to taste even better. Cleaner, fresher, smoother. Light up a Lucky. You'll say it's the best-tasting cigarette you ever smoked. Well, we played 45 minutes, now going to the last half of the 2nd inning with Drysdale, Neal, and Gilliam coming on. The Dodgers sent 8 men up in the 1st inning and scored 4 runs. And it all began after 2 were out when Snyder walked and Hodges ripped a fingernail of Dave Hillman. Then Kaiser came on, Amorose, Samoli, and Jackson got base hits for the finale of the inning. So now we'll have Jim Brosnan coming on as the 3rd Chicago pitcher. Brosnan replacing Kaiser. Kaiser went out for a pinch batter. So back to the action, and here's Vin.
Jim Brosnan coming on, making his 27th appearance, his 26th in relief. He has 1 win and 4 defeats. The Cubs in last place, and when you look at the win and loss record of their pitchers, not very well. Dick Drott is holding his own with the league, which is about the best you can say. He is 8-8. Polsky lost last night, so he's 1-5. Brosnan 1-4. Rush, who will work tomorrow, is 1-9. Kaiser 2-5. Grabowski 5-8. Hillman, who could lose today, would then be 1-7. Things have been pretty tough for Chicago. Jim Brosnan, the 3rd pitcher, coming on. Don Drysdale has hit 2 home runs this year and 5 runs batted in. Brosnan winds and delivers. Fastball beaten foul at the plate, 0-1. While he's up there, we should tell you a little note that we received today, which we passed on to Drysdale. The father of a youngster about 6.5 to 7 years old. And the father wrote us a note and said that he has taken his young boy to 3 major league ball games. In each of the 3 games, Drysdale was the starting pitcher. And in each game, Drysdale hit a home run. So as the father finished off the letter, he said, "You can have your Mays and Mantles and Snyders and Williams. As far as my boy is concerned, the home run king is Don Drysdale." 1-1 pitch to Don, cut on and missed 1-2. And you have to wonder now with this crowd here whether that combination of father and son might possibly be looking on again today. That's like being born in the 30s. You figure the only president the country ever had was Mr. Roosevelt, huh? 1-2 pitch is cut on and fouled off first base, down the line, back into the crowd. Holding count 1-2. So, little boy growing up figuring Drysdale's the best home run hitter in baseball. Drysdale, Neal, and Gilliam here in the second. 4-1 Brooklyn. The 1-2 pitch to Don. Curveball fouled away. Holding count 1-2. The end of 4 innings of play. The Cardinals 6, the Pirates 2. The Phillies lead Cincinnati 1-0 at the end of 1 inning. Rays lead the Giants 4-0 at the end of 2 1/2. Jim Brosnan, the third pitcher, comes to the plate with a high fastball that's cut on and missed, and down goes Don. So Brosnan chalks up a strikeout, 1 out. The batter, Charlie Neal, bounced out in the first inning, hitting .266. On deck, Jim Gilliam. Brosnan ready and delivers. First pitch, low and outside, ball 1. Brooklyn, 4 runs, 4 hits. They got them all in the first inning after 2 outs. The Cubs, 1 run on 4 hits. Brosnan to his windup. Now the 1-0 pitch to Neal. Fastball stays inside. Ball 2, 2-0. The outfield on Neal about straight away. 2-0 pitch to Charlie. Fastball missing inside. Ball 3. 3-0. This is the 11th meeting, the halfway point between the Dodgers and Chicago Cubs in their own private little feud of 22 games. The Dodgers have a commanding edge. They've won 9 out of 10. The 3-0 pitch down the pipe, 3-1. There have been 5 games played here in the East, one of them at Roosevelt Stadium, and the Dodgers have taken all 5 from the Cubs. The 3-1 pitch to Charlie Neal in there. Charlie starting to go to first and has to come back. So we have a full count. In fact, it's 5-0 here at Ebbets Field and 1 victory over at Roosevelt Stadium. So actually in the East, the Dodgers have taken all 6 games played from Chicago. The rubber ball comes bouncing out onto the field, so time is called for a moment. Eddie Lahan, the Dodger bat boy, goes out to get it. Charlie DiGiovanni is no longer the Dodger bat boy. He is now, and officially so, the assistant clubhouse man. Full count pitch to Charlie Neal. Fastball is low and Charlie's on. One out, Neal at first, and the batter, Jim Gilliam, hitting .267. Junior was thrown out. Bob Speak to Dave Hillman, who was then covering in the first inning. Time called by Jerry Kendall at third. Another rubber ball comes out on the field. All right, Gilliam settles in the hitter's box. On deck, Duke Snider. There goes Neal. The curve is cut on and missed, and then Silvera cannot hold on to the ball to make a play, and Neal steals second without a play being made on him. Silvera, as he caught the ball, tried to turn his body and make a throw towards second, and like wet soap, the ball just jumped out of his glove. He caught it in the air, and by that time he had no play whatsoever. So Neal steals second base. It is the 7th steal for Charlie, but what is more important, anytime you give a stolen base for a man, you ought to check and find out how many attempts he has made. For Charlie, he has stolen 7 in 9 attempts. That's very good. The strike 1 pitch to Gilliam, fastball up high, 1-1. You know the amazing thing, maybe the old-timers would argue a lot about it, but you know how they always point to Ty Cobb, that great base stealer? He stole 96 bases or something in 1 year. Do you know he was thrown out over 70 times? Nobody ever tells you about that. Didn't we find that in the record book? We didn't. Good night. The 1-1 pitch to Gilliam, butted foul, 1-2. No, sir, somewhere I read that in the book. Can we find out as far as Ty Cobb's stolen bases and times he was out? Only 36? I only missed by 40? Wow, having a great day. 1-2, the count of Jim Gilliam. Well, all right, Boardney was thrown out 36 times. That's a lot, isn't it? I admit it's not as many as 76. Well, it was late last night. Another rubber ball comes out on the field. We got time to sit here and wait. Landis comes over now and asks Tex Richards, gentlemen, please stop throwing the rubber balls down on the field.
I ask you children to refrain from throwing those rubber balls on the field. Some player may get hurt. Thank you.
Well, Tex Richards advising the youngsters not to throw the rubber balls out on the field. 1-2 the count to Gilliam. We've got to look up in the books to find out the official total now. We saw it was 36 times he was thrown out stealing. The 1-2 pitch to Gilliam, a curveball on the inside corner called strike 3. So Jim Brosnan has struck out 2 men here in the second inning, and the batter is Duke Snyder, who walked in the first inning. Brosnan and Silvera put their heads together now. 2 out and Neal at second. Brooklyn 4, Chicago 1 in the bottom of the second inning. Here it is, and Ty Cobb holds the record. Tyrus R. Cobb, in 1915, stole 96 bases, but he was also thrown out 38 times. I don't know where I got that 76, but 38's half of it, so it's half right. The pitch to Snyder is cut on. It's a high fly ball to right. It's playable. Walt Morin is waiting in front of the scoreboard and takes it for the out. So the Dodgers in the second, no runs, no hits, a man left on. There was a stolen base. No club errors, one by me. And at the end of 2 innings of play, Brooklyn 4, Chicago 1. Well, I'm sure one thing. Jerry is just going to read right off that paper and tell us all about something, so let's get over to it.
All right, Vinny. Well, that was a grand night you folks tendered Gil Hodges last night. And I can tell you there wasn't a happier or more appreciative guy in this world than Gil was last night. Well, wasn't it wonderful seeing him out there with his fine family and his many friends and hearing the cheers of the packed house? Boy, it sure was. And just a reminder, folks, we've got another player night coming your way when the Dodgers get back home in August. Jot down the date. Carl Furillo night, August 28th. The committee has a large block of tickets waiting for you if you'll drop them a line at the Bossert Hotel. Carl Furillo night, August the 28th. Well, our ball game moves along to the third inning now. And for Chicago, Ernie Banks, Walt Morin, and Lee Walsh coming on to face right-hander Don Drysdale on a warm afternoon here at Ebbets Field. Drysdale trying to get sharp and mow him down and hold on to that lead that he has. At the end of 3, Milwaukee leads New York 4-0, and at the end of 4, St. Louis leads Pittsburgh 6-2, and Philadelphia leads Cincinnati 1-0 at the end of 2. All right, back to play, and for Lucky Strike, here's Vince.
4-1 in favor of Brooklyn. The batter is Ernie Banks, who takes a curveball low, ball 1. Both Pee Wee Reese and Carl Furillo are trying to say something from the dugout. I don't get it. Here's a pitch to the plate now, low and outside. Ernie Banks, Walt Morin, and Lee Walsh. Banks batting .270. Drysdale checking his signs now with Johnny Roseboro. Don delivers 1-1. The change is outside and low, ball 2. 2-1. Ty Cobb was thrown out 38 times. Poor doctor. Drysdale ready, and the 2-1 pitch. Fastball fouled away. 2-2. A couple of kids go skidding out of the stand. 2 of them were girls. And now, of course, the park policeman will have to walk down the line and take the ball from them, for you're not allowed to climb over the wall. You have any baseball hit in the stand. 2-2, the count to Ernie Banks. Drysdale ready and delivers. Curveball got him swinging, so Ernie Banks strikes out. 1 out here in the third inning, 4-1 Brooklyn, and the batter, Walt Morin, who bounced out in the first inning. Walt batting .307. Drysdale to his windup and delivers to Morin, who wraps one into center field for a clean base hit. Snyder over there to field the ball on a couple of tricky bounces and get it back in. So Moran singles with one out in the third, and the batter will be Lee Walls. Hit number 5 off Don Drysdale. Walls walked in the first inning. Lee batting .234. Drysdale getting his sign. Now Don set. And delivers. Sidearm fastball off the glove of Drysdale down to Gilliam, who juggles and goes to kneel for the force play. What happened was that Walt Moran, in coming down, after the ball had been deflected by Drysdale to Gilliam, Moran realized that he'd be out, and also realized that if he kept on charging, he'd grind Gilliam right into the dirt. So Walt stopped for a split second. Then Gilliam bobbled, but still had a chance to go to kneel. So the force play will technically go 1 to 4 to 6. Drysdale will get an assist for slowing it down. 2 down, the batter Jerry Kindle, who struck out in the first inning, hitting .200. Drysdale looks to first, comes to the plate, a broken bat, and a looper grabbed by Randy Jackson, and that does it. Kindle hitting it right off the hand. For the Cubs in the third, no runs ahead, a man left on. There were no Dodger errors. At the end of 2.5 innings of play, Brooklyn 4 and Chicago 1. Now here's Jerry.
Hey, you want to hear the latest? Well, stick around for a minute and we'll give you some more of Happy Joe Lucky's clubhouse chatter. Meantime, let's all settle back and light up a Lucky. It's light up time. Time to enjoy a cigarette that's Fall cigarette. All fine tobacco. Naturally good-tasting tobacco that's toasted to taste even better. Cleaner, fresher, smoother. Yes, sir, that's a Lucky. So if you're looking for a better-tasting cigarette, better light up a Lucky now. Okay, here's the clubhouse chatter. Well, Gil Hodges still is in a daze from his tremendous night. The presents are still coming in, but his little 5-year-old daughter Irene wasn't as impressed with the beautiful convertible Gil received or any of the other presents except the poodle. Irene is just overjoyed with the dog, and this made her night very complete. Gil has asked us to pass along his sincere thanks to all you folks for a most memorable night. And our thanks to Happy Joe Lucky. Last of the third, 4-1 Dodgers. And we'll have Hodges, Ambrose, and Samoli coming on to face Jim Brosnan for Chicago. All of the scoring confined to the first inning. The Cubs got theirs on a single, double, and a ground out. The Dodgers had a walk, single, double, and single. So here we go to the last of the third inning, and for Lucky Strike, here's Ben.
Gil Hodges got rid of Dave Hillman in the first inning with that line drive back to the mound. We hope Hillman's finger will be all right, and that he'll be back in action very soon. It's a tough break for him. Gil hitting .306. Hodges, Ambrose, and Samoli in the third, 4-1 Brooklyn. Brosnan delivers, and the first pitch on the outside corner for a strike, on 1. Lucky Strike sending it all to you. We might botch up records and everything else, but there's one thing we can say with a positive mind that we're correct, and we'll say it right after Hodges has had his at-bat. Strike 1 pitch, foul to the plate, 0-2. Not many times in his life, as I find out, that I can afford to be positive. And right after Hodges has his at-bat, we'll make the one true solid statement. Silvera got a chunk of that foul. He's just trying to stand it off right now and try and forget it. 0-2 the count to Gil Hodges. Silvera taking his time before he goes into his crouch again. Right now, leaning over on his knees. Charlie still. Now he goes down. Okay. 0-2 the count to Hodges. Jim Brosnan, the third Chicago pitcher. Pillman and Kaiser preceded him. 0-2 to Gil. Brosnan to his windup now. Tall right-hander delivers, and the fastball is cut on. Little pop fly. Backing out is Bob Speak, the first baseman, to make the play for the out. And now we'll make our positive statement. This is the Brooklyn Dodgers Radio Network.
Dial 1460 WOKO, Albany, New York. WOKO, the Capital District's most talked about station, with downtown studios in the Hotel Wellington.
Sandy Ambrose, the batter. 1 out in the third inning, 4-1 Brooklyn. Sandy Ambrose doubled off the right field wall in the first inning, batting .301. Sandy Sandy wiggling that bat back of his left ear now as Brosnan ready and comes to the plate. Curveball way high, ball one. 1-0. Brosnan back again, and the curveball drops in and over for the strike. 1-1. The end of 3.5 innings of play. Milwaukee 4 and the Giants nothing. The end of this inning will have a complete rundown of all our scores, pitchers involved, and any home runs that might have been hit. Brosnan delivers 1-1. The fastball is on the outside corner. Ambrose starting to run up as if to bunt, let it go by, and it cost him. 1-2. Brosnan winds. Now the 1-2 pitch to Ambrose. Curveball low and outside. 2-2. Dodgers 4 runs, 4 hits. Chicago 1 run for 5 hits. All the action took place in the first inning. Brosnan nods in agreement. Now he's ready. The 2-2 pitch to Ambrose. High, ball 3. In Cleveland, no score at the end of 3. Brosnan delivers 3-2, and Ambrose takes inside, ball 4. Oh, with 1 out, Sandy draws a walk, and that will bring up Cimoli. Cimoli, who had been 0 for 17, picked a fine time to break it. He doubled to right field in the first inning. Gino, batting .301, picked up 2 RBIs. Brosnan looks in to get his sign. Cimoli squared away up there at the plate. Look over at Ambrose at first. Now the pitch to the plate, a little high. Ball 1, 1-0. Tomorrow afternoon, the doubleheader will involve Mo Drabowski and Bob Rush for Chicago, and Carl Erskine definitely in one of the games for Brooklyn. Maybe Don Newcomb. And if Don can't go, then either McDevitt or Craig, depending upon whether either one would see service in the bullpen today. Brosnan ready, looks to Ambrose, throws over there. Sandy's back. The Dodgers will leave for their third Western trip Tuesday morning. Fly out of LaGuardia early in the morning on their brand new Dodger Convair and head for St. Louis. Throw to first, and Ambrose has to swan dive back to the bag, just ahead of the tag by Bob Speak. Brosnan set, another look at Sandy. Now the 1-0 pitch. Low and outside, ball 2, 2-0. 4-1 Brooklyn, third inning, 1 out. Just staring in. Now Jim ready. The 2-0 pitch. Fastball cut on is a high pop fly. Bobby Morgan slanting over. Bob Speak going out. Morgan still in fair ground, makes the play for the out, and Ambrose holds on at first. 2 down here in the third, and the batter will be Randy Jackson, who's single left in the first inning to drive in a run. Jackson batting .222. Silvera holding up 2 fingers on his right hand to keep everybody in the ball game. 2 outs. Ball 1 Brooklyn here in the third. Jackson waiting at the plate. Brosnan said a peek at Ambrose, who draws a throw now. With 2 outs, Sandy's a threat to go. Charlie Neal throws second in the second inning. Brosnan checking Ambrose. The pitch to the plate, a fastball cut on and missed. 0-1. Here at the ballpark, kind of quiet right now, just sitting back, very relaxed with the Dodgers leading 4-1. Brosnan set, the strike one pitch. They pitch out. Ambrose not going. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's 4-0 Milwaukee over the Giants at the end of 4. The Dodgers trail the Braves by 1 game. Brosnan checking Ambrose. Now the pitch, and there goes Sandy. The throw down to second baseman Morgan. They get him. So Ambrose out on an attempted steal, 2-4 from Charlie Silvera to Bobby Morgan. The Dodgers go out in the 3rd. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. And at the end of 3 innings of play, Brooklyn 4 and Chicago 1. Now to our Lucky Strike scoreboard, Milwaukee and the Giants. 4-0 Braves at the end of 4 innings. Trowbridge for Milwaukee. Gomez relieved by McCormick in the 2nd inning. Del Crandall hit his 11th home run in the 3rd inning with nobody on. Philadelphia leading Cincinnati 2-0 at the end of 2.5 innings. Jeffcoat relieved by Gross in the 3rd inning. Jim Hearn for Philadelphia. Harry Anderson hit his 9th home run in the 3rd inning with a man aboard, so the Phillies now lead Cincinnati 4-0 in the 3rd, and they're still at bat. St. Louis leading the Pirates 7-2 at the end of 5 innings back of Murray Dixon. Bob Friend, Nelson King, and Art Swanson for the Pirates. Del Ennis hit his 14th home run in the 3rd inning with 2 on. American League, the Yankees and Cleveland, no score at the end of 3.5. Chance against Wynn. Boston at Chicago, Sisler and Donovan, 1-0 in favor of the White Sox at the end of an inning and a half. Washington leading Detroit 1-0 at the end of 2 innings. Kemmerer against Larry. Lemon a home run in the 1st inning with nobody on his 13th. Baltimore at Kansas City, because of the time difference, no confirmation yet. The probable pitchers, Connie Johnson from Baltimore and Arnold Portocarrero for Kansas City. Well, those are all the scores we have on our Lucky Strike scoreboard as we move along in our own ball game to the 4th inning. Brooklyn 4 and Chicago 1. Lucky Strike, delighted to be sending it all to you. And now for Lucky Strike in the play-by-play, here's Jerry Doggett.
Thanks, Ben. Ready to go. Bobby Morgan flied out his first time. Don Drysdale into the windup, and here's the pitch. Curveball is outside, ball 1. The Dodgers 4 and Chicago 1. 3rd game of the series. Doubleheader tomorrow, 2 o'clock to wind up the series and the homestand. Don delivers. Fastball is inside on the corner for a strike, and it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Bobby Morgan. Charlie Silvera on deck. Sidearm pitch comes in and skips off the bat and bangs John Roseboro on the right hand. And John went kneeling to the ground in a hurry. We'll have a look to see how serious it is. Manager Walt Alston and Doc Wendler, the team trainer, come out as Roseboro caught one on the finger of the right hand. Alston now walking toward the bench, and Roseboro, I believe, is going to come out of the ball game. John got one on the finger, and now comes on to the Dodger dugout, and Roy Campanella starts to put on the tools. Ball glanced off the bat of Bobby Morgan and slid off the right hand of Johnny Roseboro and caught him right on the fingertips. Morgan was leaning back from the ball, tried to get his bat out of there, and the ball just kicked the bat and then went skittering off into Roseboro's hand. Alston, Zimmer, Podres, and several others gathered around Roseboro at the bench. So we've had 2 bad fingers here today. Pitcher Dave Hillman got one, a line drive from Hodges right back to him. And it's the index finger of the right hand jammed on the foul tip of John Roseboro, getting his right fingers jammed on the play. So he will leave the ball game, and it'll be Roy Campanella putting on the catching equipment now to come on here and take over. So Roseboro had quite a night last night and got the starting assignment in the 2nd game behind the plate. Got another nod today from manager Walt Alston, and now has to retire with a finger injury. And Roy Campanella comes on to take over the catching here in the 4th inning. So Roseboro out, and Campy now comes on to take a few warm-up tosses. Get loosened up himself. Drysdale fires down a couple. The batter, Bobby Morgan, with a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Nobody out, nobody on. Top of the fourth inning. In a 4-1 game, the Dodgers lead. At the end of 4, Milwaukee 4 and New York nothing. St. Louis 7, Pittsburgh 2 at the end of 4.5, and Philadelphia leads Cincinnati 2-0 through 2.5. All right, Morgan waiting as we're set to play. Can't be down to give a sign. Drysdale into the windup, and here's the pitch. Fastball is low, and it's ball 2. 2-2 on the batter, Bobby Morgan. Morgan hitting .225. 2-2 count. Drysdale with a look. Here's the windup and pitch. Fly ball hit the right field. Backboard goes to Mully, and this one's going to be off the scoreboard. Gino has the bounce get away from him. Morgan digs for second, now makes his turn. It's going to go for 3 as Mully has trouble picking the ball up. The long throw is not in time. And Morgan is on with the ball hit off the scoreboard that bounded away from Mully. And Gino then went to grab the ball in right center field. Couldn't find the handle, and Morgan goes all the way to third. Waiting to see if there's an error scored on it. Perhaps a triple all the way. So let's score a 3-bagger for Bobby Morgan off the scoreboard in right field and off Drysdale. That is base hit number 6. The Dodgers have 4 hits. 3 off Kaiser and 1 off starter Dave Hillman. The batter is Charlie Silvera. Singled his first time up. Takes the fastball on the inside corner. Strike 1. Runner at third, Bobby Morgan. A 4-1 ball game, and the Cubs now have a scoring threat. The Dodger infield playing back. They'll go for the out and give up the run. Curveball swung on and missed. Strike 2. Charlie went all the way around for that change-up curve fired in by Drysdale. And the count is 0-2. Dodgers 4, Cubs 1, top of the 4th inning. Young down ready. Here's the pitch. Curve tap back to the mound. Drysdale plays it on 1 bounce. Holds the runner and lobs his throw to first to get Silvera. 1 away. The pitcher, Jim Brosnan, waiting for him to come out now. Walks to the batting rack. Picks up a plastic helmet. And makes his way out toward home plate. So Brosnan coming on with 1 out. And Bobby Morgan at third base with a triple off the scoreboard. Hodges and Gilliam looking to the bench to get a word as to how to play against Brosnan, whether to play back. Hodges will play almost even with the bag. Now walks back a step or 2. The rest of the infield about normal depth against the right-hand batter. Curveball is low and inside. Ball 1. Jackson at third. Neal at short. Gilliam at second, and Hodges at first. Outfield, Amarillo, Snyder, and Simone. Campanella now catching. And a ball 1 count to Brosnan. Swings and misses on a fastball. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. And pitch. Foul ball off to the right and upstairs. And it's 1 ball, strike 2 on Jim Brosnan. Philadelphia got 2 more on Cincinnati in the 3rd and now leads the Redlegs 4-0 at the end of 3. Curveball got him swinging. So Brosnan strikes out, and for Drysdale, strikeout number 3. Coming on now will be leadoff batter Bob Will. Has flied out and grounded out and is hitting .240. Bob Will, the center fielder, left-hand batter. Bobby Morgan on third. 2 away now. 4-1 Dodgers. Drysdale into the windup, and here's the pitch. Fastball on the outside corner, strike 1. Will had an ocean, checked his swing and had it called anyway. So a strike 1 count to Bob Will. Drysdale into the windup. Here's the pitch. Low with a fastball. Count even. 1 ball, 1 strike. Doubleheader tomorrow, fans, at 2 o'clock, and that'll be the final games of the homestand. The Dodgers against the Western clubs right now stand 8-1. the All-Star break. All the Western clubs have come by, and the Dodgers have done very well. Here's a foul off to the left upstairs. Strike 2. 1-2. At the All-Star time, the Dodgers were in 5th place, 5 games off. And winning 8 out of 9, they've climbed to 2nd place, 1 game behind Milwaukee. One ball, 2 strikes. Will waiting. Here's the windup and pitch. Got him swinging. Fastball. And Will goes down on strikes as Drysdale strikes out a pair. Gets his 4th now, and the side retired with no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. So at the end of 3 1/2 innings of play, the score, Brooklyn 4 and Chicago 1.
And now word from Ben. Well, right at this moment, friends, do you have any idea how many smokers across the country are lighting up Lucky's?
When they're cheering, chances are they bought their 1957 Olds from Rose Oldsmobile, the oldest franchise Oldsmobile dealer in the Capital District.
Well, I wouldn't even consider buying my Olds from any dealer but Rose Oldsmobile.
There must be a reason. There is, because Rose maintains the proper facilities for warranty work that ensures your satisfaction. Service that continues long after the sale is made.
Rose Oldsmobile's modern shop contains all the latest factory-approved equipment for keeping your Olds in tip-top condition. Their careful servicemen are constantly being trained in old factory schools.
That's the reason. That's why over 67% of Rose Oldsmobile sales are to repeat customers, folks who come back year after year, because Rose offers more. Low prices plus continuing interest in your satisfaction. There's no substitute for integrity, and integrity means Rose Oldsmobile, Central and Manning, satisfying customers at the same location for more than 30 years. That's Rose Oldsmobile.
Randy Jackson coming on. Randy was up there a while ago when Ambrose was out stealing. Jackson has 1 hit today, a single that drove in a run. And Randy now picking up his batting average quite well since he got back in the lineup after the bad leg. He's hitting at .222. Jackson, since he got back into action, has had 7 for 18 before today for a .389 percentage, so he's been going great guns. First pitch is low and inside, ball 1. Last half of the 4th inning. Brosnan ready. Pumps once, twice, and now comes to the plate. Jackson takes a knee-high fastball for a strike, and the count evens at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Last half of the 4th inning, Dodgers lead 4-1. And we'll play 2 tomorrow. Hope you can be here. The windup and the 1-1 pitch. Curve in the dirt to the right side, and it's 2-1. Jackson at bat with Campanella on deck and Drysdale in the hole. 2-1 pitch for Brosnan. Is in for a strike at the knees, and it's 2-2. Jackson now talking a bit to umpire Stan Landis. Doesn't have too much to say, but he had a word or two. 2-2. Now Brosnan ready again. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called. Fastball at the knees, and Jackson out on strike. For Brosnan, strikeout number 3. 1 away as Roy Campanella comes on. Campy up hitting .238. 1 out, 4-1 score. Brooklyn leads. Campy hits a ground ball to shortstop. Ernie Banks comes in, makes his play. In time for the out. 2 away. Coming on now will be Don Drysdale, and Don struck out his first time up. Brosnan is the 3rd Chicago pitcher. Dave Hillman started and was knocked out by Gil Hodges when Gil hit a line drive back. It split the fingernail on the pitching hand for Hillman. He went out. Kaiser came on and was tagged for 2 doubles and a single. And then he went out for a pinch hitter in the second inning. And Brosnan now has come on to turn the Dodgers back. Drysdale waiting. 2 outs, none on. Here's the pitch. Foul ball down at the plate. Strike 1. At the end of 5 1/2 innings, St. Louis 7 and Pittsburgh 2. Pirates beat them last night 7-0. Philadelphia leads the Redlegs 4-0 at the end of 3. Here's the pitch. Curveball for a strike 2. 0-2 on Drysdale. At the end of 5 innings, Milwaukee 4 and New York 0. Yankees and Cleveland no score at the end of 3. Here's the pitch to Drysdale. Curveball called strike 3. So Brosnan gets 2 strikeouts in the inning, his 4th of the ball game. Dodgers go down in order in the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. And so at the end of 4, the score is Brooklyn 4 and Chicago 1. All set to go now at the top of the 5th inning. It'll be Bob Speak, Ernie Banks, and Walt Morin for Chicago. Bob Speak is singled and grounded out in 2 trips. Drysdale ready. Here's the first pitch. Fastball on the outside corner, knee high. Strike 1. Brooklyn 4 and Chicago 1. Game 3 of the 5-game weekend series. Drysdale delivers again to Speak. Takes it high outside. Ball 1. Count evens. 1 ball, 1 strike on Bob Speak. Ernie Banks on deck and Walt Morin to follow. The windup, the 1-1 pitch. Inside on the corner for strike 2. 1-2. None out, none on. Dodgers 4, Chicago 1, top of the 5th inning. Is low for a ball, and the count goes 2-2, and Campanella now talking to Land at the minute. Drysdale came off the mound a few steps to have something to say. Thought that pitch might have been a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Bob Speak. Drysdale ready. Here's the windup in the pitch. Ground ball to the right side. Hodges makes a backhand knockdown, turns, throws, in time on a nice play. Hodges went far to his right, backhanded the ball, and rolled off his glove. He made a quick recovery, turned and threw to Drysdale to get Speak by a step. So it's 1 out for Chicago in the 5th inning, and the batter is Ernie Banks. Ernie had a double, and he struck out. So Banks hitting .269 as the Chicago batter here in the 5th inning. Drysdale into the windup, and here's his pitch. High pop foul off to the right. It'll be out of play in the upper deck. One out, none on for Chicago in the 5th inning. The Cubs have 6 base hits. The Dodgers have 4. Dodgers lead 4-1. Got all of their hits and runs in the 1st inning. Sidearm fastball is through for a strike 2 on Banks. 0-2 to the Chicago shortstop, Ernie Banks. Drysdale winds and fires. Foul tip in the glove. Campy holds on, and Banks down on strike. For Drysdale, that's 5 strikeouts. Don started today with 79 strikeouts in 116 innings, so now he has 84 in 120 and 2/3 innings. Left-hand batter Walt Morin coming on, grounded out to drive in a run and singled. So he's 1 for 2, hitting .309. Swing and a miss, strike 1. 2-1 the count to Walt Morin. 2 outs, none on for Chicago in the top of the 5th inning. Drysdale winds. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Pittsburgh 2, St. Louis 7 at the end of 5 1/2 innings. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 2. Drysdale with a hard-up pitch that time. Got it inside at the hand. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count on Morin. Don ready again. Here's the pitch. Drive to center field. Snyder goes sliding back, turns, and makes the grab side side. So Morin lines out straight away to Snyder, and it's 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. So at the end of 4 1/2 innings of play, the score, Brooklyn 4 and Chicago 1. And now a word from Al Helfer.
Well, say if I were to stop you on the street and ask you to tell me the one thing they brew beer for, what would you think the right answer would be? For the look of the beer? For the gold of afternoon sunlight? The snowy whiteness of a billow of foam? For the taste? The rich, mellow flavor? The zippy, appetizing flavor you don't always find? Well, you'd be right. But more than those things, what they brew beer for most of all is enjoyment. Your enjoyment. The kind of enjoyment that makes you smack your lips and say, bring on another. Brother, that's the story of Schaefer beer. It's brewed for enjoyment, for perfect looks, for tops and flavor. For your enjoyment, through and through. You try Schaefer today. You'll see it's real beer. Half of inning number 5. The Brooklyn Dodgers are leading in the ball game 4-1. Brooklyn 4 runs on 4 hits, no errors. Chicago 1 run, 6 hits, 1 error. Coming up in the bottom of the 5th is Charlie Neal, the leadoff man. Jerry, all set?
Okay, Al. Charlie Neal has walked and grounded out in 2 tries, and his batting average is .266. Kendall, Banks, Morgan, and Speak on the infield for Chicago, and Jim Brosnan doing the pitching. First pitch is low for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Neal, Gilliam, and Snyder, first 3 due up here. Dodgers with 4 in the first, lead Chicago 4-1. Cubs also got their run in the first inning. Charlie swings and misses on a fastball, and the count, strike 2. Neal waiting, strike 2 count. Jim Brosnan checks the sign with catcher Charlie Silvera. Here's the pitch. Curve way outside, ball 1. 1-2. The Chicago outfield is Walls in left, Will in center, and Morin in right. Yankees in Cleveland 2-2 at the end of 4 1/2 innings of play at Cleveland today. Here's a fastball inside to Neal, and it's 2-2. Chicago leads Boston 2-0 at the end of 3 1/2. Those are American League scores. At the end of 6 1/2 in the National, St. Louis 7 and Pittsburgh 2. The Redlegs now come up with 3 runs in the 4th, but trail the Phillies 4-3 at the end of 4 innings of play. Here's the pitch. The bounder hit up the third baseline, rolling just foul. Bounced off Jerry Kindle's arm, but he knocked it down in foul ground. At the end of 5 1/2 innings, Milwaukee 4 and the Giants nothing. The Dodgers, of course, hopeful that today they'd get some help from the Giants. If the Dodgers win and the Giants win, the Dodgers would take first place from Milwaukee by a percentage point. Trail them by 1 game. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Neal goes down clean. And Jim Brosnan has brought along a strikeout pitch today. He has struck out 5 now. Here's Gilliam up. Junior grounded out and struck out in 2 turns and is hitting .266. Snyder on deck. Hodges down in the hole. Brosnan ready. Here's the pitch. Gilliam swings a high fly to left field. Waiting in his tracks is Lee Walls. Moves 1 Shepworth right and makes the catch. And now let's check in a station break. This is the Brooklyn Dodgers Radio Network.
For the tops in recorded entertainment.
Dial 1460 WOKO Albany, the Capital District's most talked about station.
Snyder's walked and tried to right. So he's none for one today, hitting .281. Duke waiting with 2 outs, none on, 5th inning. Outfield and infield playing around to the right and deep against Snyder. Brosnan winds, here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 1. High fastball. The Dodgers had 4 base hits in the ball game, and they came in a row in the 1st inning with 2 outs. Snyder on, Hodges got a single, Ambrose doubled, Samoli doubled, and Jackson singled. And that's all the Dodgers have been able to muster up on the offense. Cubs have picked up 6 hits, but only 1 run. Strike 1 to Snyder. The windup in the pitch. Curve is in and over for strike 2. Brosnan came on to work in the 2nd inning and has struck out 5 and has walked 2. Has allowed no runs and no hits. Nothing in 2 to Snyder with 2 outs, none on, last half of the 5th inning. Okay, the windup, and here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1, 1 and 2. Ball and 2 strikes. Snyder waiting. Brosnan winds. Here it comes. Outside again. Ball 2. 2 and 2 to Duke. Doubleheader tomorrow. Then the Dodgers head west. They off Monday. Play in St. Louis Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And the games on Wednesday and Thursday will be televised as well as heard on radio. Wednesday and Thursday nights at 8:55. Road TV from St. Louis on Channel 9. All the Dodger away games on radio on the station you're listening to now. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Curveball is low, ball 3. Full count to Snyder. So the Duke wandering around outside the batter's box. Snyder feels that he's now attaining some of the hitting ability he had in years gone by. Duke's been hitting the ball very well. Says he's been waiting on the ball better, trying to keep his eye on it. And try to get his timing back. Feels that it's almost all set now. Ball 4 comes down, and Snyder is on with a walk. Walk number 3 given up by Brosnan. And now Gil Hodges coming on. Gil got a base hit off Dave Hillman's finger in the 1st inning. Popped up in the 3rd. So Hodges hitting .305 comes on now with 1 on and 2 outs. The Dodgers 4 and the Cubs 1, 3rd game of the series. Doubleheader tomorrow. All right, here's the stretch by Brosnan, the pitch to the plate. Gill takes it high, ball 1. Umpire Stan Landis makes an exchange of baseballs now with catcher Charlie Silvera. And Silvera walks to the mound with it. 1 on, 2 out, 5th inning. 4-1. The Giants failed to score in the 6th inning, and the Braves lead them 4-0. Bob Strobridge. Waiting, 1-0 count. Pitch, fastball, low outside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Well, we hope you folks can come out tomorrow and see the doubleheader. If not, a lot of big days coming up in August when the Dodgers get home. 2-0 count. A throw to first base, and Snyder is back. Well, fine, warm, safer afternoon here at the ballpark. you're enjoying Schaefer wherever you are, whatever you may be doing. Swinging a pop fly by Hodges out back of second. Bobby Morgan caged his eyes, almost lost the ball in the sun. Had to kind of lean away and keep his glove covering his eyes and casting a shadow, and he made the play. So Hodges pops out to Morgan in back of second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one left on. And so at the end of 5, the score, the Dodgers 4 and Chicago 1. And now, here's Al. Well, here's an announcement a lot of you folks have been waiting for. The annual Camera Day at Ebbets Field. The Dodgers Argus Camera Day for 1957 will be held on Saturday, August 24th. That's a fine day, too, with Milwaukee. So all of your camera fans, get your cameras out and polish your lenses for another big camera day. The Dodgers Argus Camera Day at Ebbets Field. Jot down the date now and write in for your tickets or pick them up at any Dodger ticket office. Saturday, August 24th. The Camera Day entry blanks are at the printers now and will be available next week. They'll be available wherever Argus camera products are sold. And, of course, at Dodger ticket offices as well. The top half of inning number 6 with Lee Walls coming up as the first man for Chicago, followed by Kendall and Morgan. All right, Jerry.
All right, Lee Walls has walked and been on a fourth play, and his batting average .233, facing Don Drysdale, working on a 4-1 lead here in the 6th inning. At the end of 4 innings, Philadelphia leads Cincinnati 4-3. Drysdale checks around now, gets set to go, pitching to Lee Walls. The windup in the first pitch. Bouncer foul to the left side, rolling toward the box seat railing. Strike one on Walls, hitting in the number 5 spot for Chicago. Next pitch, in for a strike 2. 0-2. Drysdale winds and fires. Curveball outside, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the batter, Lee Walls. Jerry Kendall on deck and Bobby Morgan to follow. Drysdale winds and fires. Slow curve is outside, ball 2. And it's 2-2. Dodgers won a doubleheader last night from Chicago and are now 9-1 with the Cubs on the year. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Lee Walls, leading off in the 6th inning. High fly ball into center field. Strader racing over toward right center. Samoli going over. Duke makes the call and grabs it. 1 away. Walls skies to Snyder in right center. Jerry Kendall coming on is lined out to third and struck out. None for 2. And Kendall is hitting .198. Drysdale delivers to the right-hand batter. A strike. Sidearmed in. 0-1. Curve low and it's ball 1, 1-1. Jerry Kendall at bat. Bonus boy for Chicago. The windup and here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for a strike. Sidearm fastball offered up by Drysdale. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count to Jerry Kendall. 1 out, none on, 6th inning. The Dodgers lead 4-1 over Chicago. Here's the windup in the pitch. Curveball bites in the dirt, gets by Campanella, and the count goes even at 2-2. Drysdale was signed. And the count. Here's the pitch. Strike three. Fastball came in letter high, and Kendall is caught looking. And for Don Drysdale, strikeout number 6. So we have 2 away now, and the batter will be Bobby Morgan. Slide to left and tripled off the scoreboard. Bobby hitting .228. Morgan. High and inside. Ball 1. Bobby slid out of there. Well, Milwaukee has added another run in the 7th inning, still batting, and leads the Giants now 5-0. Playing in the top half of the 7th. Here's the pitch. Fastball in for a strike, and the count evens 1-1 on Morgan. The on-deck hitter, the catcher, Charlie Silvera. 1-1, the pitch down. Back at first. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count. One and 2. Morgan waiting 2 outs, none on, 6th inning. Drysdale winds 5. Fastball is low, and it's ball 2. Even count now, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Schaefer Beer, happy to send it to you. And don't forget for the weekend, get a good supply of those Schaefer quartz. Friends drop in, or you go out to the beach or something, you'll have a good supply on hand. Morgan falls down from one as he tries to check his swing, and did in time. Campy rolled the ball back to the box. Thought he had strike 3, but Morgan falling away. Checked up on his swing, and it's ball 3, strike 2. So Bobby back in again with a full count. Drysdale ready. Here's the pitch. Foul ball popped back behind the plate, and it'll be out of play. Campy turned to have a look at it. 2 to Bobby Morgan. Drysdale shakes off a time, now gets one he likes. The windup, and down it comes. Ground ball right back to Drysdale on 1 sharp bounce. Played a first in time, and the side retired. So, 3 up, 3 down, no runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. Chicago out in the 6th inning. And at the end of 5 1/2, it's Dodgers 4, Cubs 1.
Washington, London, Bangkok, Jerusalem.
From all over the world, news of the world. But the biggest news is from Rose Oldsmobile, Central and Banning in Albany.
That means there's over 67% of Rose Oldsmobile sales are to repeat customers, people who trade year after year with Rose.
And there's a reason. Rose Oldsmobile maintains in their modern service shop all the latest equipment and instruments to give continuing warranty service on every Olds they sell.
Service that continues on from the first moment the sale is made. Rose Oldsmobile utilizes only the newest, up-to-the-minute factory methods in offering this warranty service. Their mechanical experts are schooled in Oldsmobile methods.
Not only that, but Rose Oldsmobile gives you a good deal. So buy from a dealer who stands behind the purchase. Rose Oldsmobile. Remember, over 67% of Rose Oldsmobile sales are to repeat customers. Before you buy any car, see Rose Oldsmobile, the Capital District's oldest franchised Oldsmobile dealer. Over 30 years at Central and Banning.
The end of 5 1/2 innings of play. The Brooklyn Dodgers are still out in front over Chicago 4-1. Brooklyn 4 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and Chicago 1 run, 6 hits, 1 out. In the last half of the 6th, Amaro, Smoley, and Jackson. All right, Jerry, we're waiting.
All right, Sandy Amaro doubled to right field in the 1st inning and drove in a run, and then came in to score on a double by Gino Smoley. Dodgers 4-1 over the Cubs. Last of the 6th. Sandy walks in the 3rd, so he's 1 for 1 today and hitting .301. Amaros has been a hot hitter for the Dodgers here in the last 9 games. High curveball by Brosnan stays outside, ball 1. In the last 6 games, Amaros has been on base 17 times out of 27 times up. 8 hits and 18 at-bats for a .444 percentage. He's had 8 walks, hit once by a pitch ball, and knocked in 6 runs. He's now 19 out of 29 on base, including today. He's been on 2 for 2 today. Ball 2 the count. Brosnan winds. Here it is. Outside on the corner for a strike. 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike to Amaros. Randy waiting. Bat held straight up and down, waggling a bit. Takes a curve for strike 2. 2-2 on Sandy Amaros. First batter up in the 6th inning for the Dodgers. We have 4 runs and 4 hits, and they all came in the 1st inning. Brosnan pitches in the dirt, ball 3. So to Amaros, 3-2. Count. Right-hander Jim Brosnan into the lineup, pumps and pitches. Sandy swings a high pop foul off the left side. Back comes Charlie Silvera back toward the bat rack and makes the catch. So Amaros fouls out to Silvera off toward the Chicago dugout on the left side. 1 away, Gino Cimoli coming on. Gino hit a double off the scoreboard in right field to drive in a pair in the 1st inning. With 1 out, none on. Cimoli coming on, and the Cubs getting very effective relief pitching from Jim Brosnan. And this might be Jim's last inning. He's due to hit in the 7th inning, and we now have bullpen activity for Chicago. Here's the pitch to Gino. Swung on it, missed, strike 1. In the bullpen, Dick Drott warming up for the Cubs. Here's the pitch by Brosnan, and the curveball low, ball 1. Even count, 1 ball, 1 strike on Cimoli. Fastball is swung on and missed for a strike, 1-2. Total crowd today of 14,686. 6758 paid, 2,108 ladies, and 6,000 not old kids. One and two, down it comes. Strike 3 called on Gino, and he questions umpire Stan Landis about it. Stands at the plate discussing it with him. Gino popped the pitch with a little inside on him, and Landis called him out on strike. So for the Chicago pitcher, Jim Brosnan, strikeout number 6. Up now, Randy Jackson has struck out and single, drove in a run. 2 down, 6th inning, and the Dodgers lead 4-1. Jackson swings a high fly to center field. Bob Will going way back for this one. Back, and it's into the center field stand. Home run. So Randy Jackson gets his first home run of the year. A long, high fly that drops about 6 rows back into the center field stand straight away. And it's now 5-1 Brooklyn, with Roy Campanella coming on. Jackson on a very good streak since he got back into the lineup. He now, in 7 games, including 1 appearance as a pinch hitter, has had 9 for 20. Kempy takes a curveball for a strike, and the count to him is 1-1. So Randy Jackson got his bad knee patched up. Back in action, and he's swinging a big bat. 9 hits, and let's make that 21 at bat. Fastball is low, and it's 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. At the end of of this half inning, Al will have a complete rundown on the Schaefer scoreboard, give you all the other scores. Here's the pitch. Campy swings a big hopper out towards short. Ernie Banks gets it, makes his play, and the side is retired. So for the Dodgers in the sixth inning, 1 run, 1 hit, home run by Randy Jackson. No errors and none left on. And at the end of 6, it's Brooklyn 5 and Chicago 1. And now, as promised, here's Al with the scoreboard.
At the end of 7 innings in that game between Milwaukee and the Giants, the Braves are leading it 5-0. Trowbridge pitching for Milwaukee. Gomez, McCormick in the second. Now Al Worthington in the 7th for the Giants. Crandall and Covington have both hit home runs. Cincinnati, Philadelphia at the end of 4.5 innings. It's 5-4 in favor of Cincinnati over Philadelphia. Jeff Coach commenced it for Cincinnati and Gross in the 3rd. Philadelphia started Hearn and had Hacker come on in his relief in the 4th and Moorhead in the 5th, with Anderson hitting a home run in the 3rd, with 1 on for the Philadelphia Phillies. St. Louis, Pittsburgh at the end of 7.5 innings. It's 9-4 in favor of St. Louis. Dixon started, Merritt his relief in the 7th. Pittsburgh had Friend begin it, King in the 3rd, Swanson in the 6th, Pace in the 8th, and Arroyo in the 8th. Dell Ennis in the 3rd with 2 men on, hit his 14th home run of the year for St. Louis. In the American League, at the end of 5 innings of play, it is the Yankees 2 and the Cleveland Indians 2. Chance started for the Yankees, Byrne his relief in the 5th. Early Wynn pitching this ball game for the Indians. Boston and Chicago at the end of 4. Chicago leads the Red Sox 2-0. Sisler began for Boston. Porterfield his relief in the 2nd. For the Chicago White Sox, the pitcher is Dick Donovan. Washington and Detroit at the end of 5, tied up at 1-1. Russ Kemmer for Washington, pitching against Frank Larry of Detroit. Lemon hit a home run in the 1st with the bases empty, his 13th of the year for Washington. And the ball game between Baltimore and Kansas City out at Kansas City has been delayed because of rain. The probable starting pitcher, should they get this one underway, will be Johnson for Baltimore, and for Kansas City, Arnold Portocarrero. Now we're ready to go with more action here, so let's get back to Jerry.
Chuck Tanner, pinch hitting for Silvera, hits the foul ball, grounded past first. And it's strike 1 on pinch batter Chuck Tanner, hitting for Chicago here, batting for Charlie Silvera. Top of the 7th inning, Dodgers lead now 5-1. Tanner hitting .278, batting for Silvera. Dale Long has come out to the on-deck circle to bat for Jim Brosnan. Drysdale delivers a swing and a slow roller up the first baseline. And Freddie Fitzsimmons comes over to make the play on it. A strike 2 count on pinch batter Chuck Tanner, with Dale Long out on deck. Here's a base hit lined in the right field for Tanner. Cimoli over to play it, fires it back in, and pinch batter Chuck Tanner is on with a single to right. And off Don Drysdale, base hit number 7. Here's Dale Long coming on as the pinch batter. Dale is hitting .259. On deck is Bob Will, and down in the hole is Bob Speak. In the bullpen, Dick Strott working for Chicago. So Brosnan goes off. He worked 5 fine innings, allowed 1 run and 1 hit. That was on Randy Jackson Comer. Brosnan walked 3 and struck out 6. So the Cubs bat in the 7th with 1 on, none out. Pitched to Long, fouled away. Strike 1. Nothing in 1 on Dale Long. Drysdale delivers, sidearm, low, and it's ball 1, strike 1. 1-1, doubleheader tomorrow, fans. Don't forget, come on out if you can and see the Dodgers in their farewell appearance before the long Western road trip begins. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Outside for ball 2, and it's 2-1. Say, gals, when you go out shopping later on, don't forget to pick up a good supply of those Schaefer quartz for the weekend. Schaefer quartz, a handy way to have your Schaefer on ice. And when friends drop in, well, you've got a good supply. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. outside. Fastball, and it's ball 3, strike 1 on Dale Long. From St. Louis next Wednesday and Thursday, we'll have those two games on TV. The series opens Tuesday, but the Wednesday and Thursday games on TV, 8:55 on Channel 9. Of course, all the games on Dodger Radio Network and the station you're listening to. 3-1 look. Here's the pitch to Long. Inside, and he's on with a walk. Base on balls, number 2 by Don Drysdale. So the Cubs now trying to kick up something here in the top half of the 7th. Have 2 men on as Tanner goes to second base, and Dale Long is on at first with a walk. Bob Will comes up. He is struck out, flat out, and grounded out, and is hitting .237. And now Clem Labine is up and throwing in the Dodger bullpen in right field. 5-1. Brooklyn leads. We're playing in the top of the 7th. 2 on, nobody out. And the Dodger infield now comes to double play depth, trying to get a pair against Bob Will. Foul ball hits straight back to the wire. Strike 1. Strike 1 count. Drysdale out of the stretch, checks the runners. Here's his pitch. Fouled away, right back to the wire. Strike 2. Nothing in 2 to the Chicago leadoff man, Bob Will. Long at first base, Tanner at second. 2 pinch hitters have both gotten on. Here's the look by Drysdale and the pitch to the plate. Foul tip out of Campy's glove, and Will holds up there. Strike 2. Nothing in 2. Drysdale ready, delivers. Foul ball, straight back. So Will getting just a piece of it. Has a strike 2 count on him with Tanner at second base and Long at first base. Chicago batting in the 7th inning. The Dodgers lead 5-1. St. Louis 9, Pittsburgh 4 at the end of 7 1/2. Cincinnati 5, Philadelphia 4 at the end of 4 1/2. Drysdale ready, the 0-2 pitch. Bouncer hit the third. Jackson comes up, steps on the bag, throws to first base, and it's in time for the double play. Rogers took the throw on a big bounce and got Bob Will for the double play. And now before Bob Speak comes on, let's pause for station identification. This is the Brooklyn Dodgers Radio Network.
Dial 1460 WOKO Albany, WOKO, the Capital District's most talked about station with downtown studios in the Hotel Wellington. Now back to the Dodger-Cubs game.
Randy Jackson took that ball just a few steps in the bag, came over and made the 4th out on Tanner coming down. Then his throw didn't have much on it to first base, but Hodges took it on the bounce and still got it in time to double up Will. On the play, Long goes into second. Here's Bob Speak at bat. 2 outs, 1 on. Drysdale now working here in the top of the 7th inning. Checks his runner. Here's the pitch. Fastball moves outside. Ball 1. Left-hand batter, Bob Speak. No strike. Drysdale ready, delivers. Ground ball to the right side. Gilliam over, and the ball bounces off. Junior recovers, throws. Not in time. Gilliam going into short right field to knock the ball down. It bounced off his arm. He picked it up and fired it to first base, but not in time. And Speak is on, and an error is charged on Gilliam. On the play, Long goes to third and holds up there. Charged on Gilliam as Ernie Banks comes to bat. He has a double and is struck out twice. Speak getting life as Gilliam juggled his ball. On the grass in short right field. Ernie Banks, the batter. Hitting .268, the Chicago shortstop. 2 on, 2 out, 7th inning. Drysdale out of a stretch. Here's the pitch. Fastball comes in low, ball 1. Clem Levine busy in the Dodger bullpen in right field. No strike. The look in the pitch. Fastball in for a strike at the knees, and it's 1-1 to Ernie Banks. 1 ball, 1 strike. Drysdale takes off a couple of times, now gets the one he wants. 1-1 pitch. Curveball is fouled upstairs, and it's 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Ernie Banks stands in waiting. Runners at first and third, Long at third, and Speak at first. Drysdale ready. Here's the pitch. Fly ball hits the center field deep. Back court goes Snyder. Back, and it's gone. Home run for Banks in the center field stand. And it's now a 5-4 ball game as Ernie Banks hit one into the center field seat for a home run. Reduce the Dodger lead to 1 run. The home run by Jackson hit in the 6th inning. Up now is Walt Morin, who has singled once and 3 times at bat. So 5-4 as the Dodgers lead the Cubs here in the 7th inning. Morin waits. Drysdale now steps off. Morin, the big left-hand batter, and the Chicago right fielder is hitting .308. So Ernie Banks wraps his 19th of the year and drives home 2 in front of him. And puts the Cubs right back in business. The runs are unearned. The inning was prolonged when Gilliam bobbled Speak's grounder. Morin takes a strike on the outside corner. Top of the 7th inning. Brooklyn 5, Chicago 4. The pitch. Ground ball, base hit to the right side. Savoli down on one knee, picks it up and fires it back in, and Walt Morin is on, and here comes Walter Alston out now to see about Drysdale. In the inning for Chicago, pinch batter Tanner singled to right, pitch batter Long threw a walk. Will then bounced into a double play, Jackson to Hodges. Speak drew life on the error by Gilliam, and Banks hit a home run. Morin now, after the home run, has followed with a single to right field, and Clem Levine is being called in to pitch for the Dodgers. So it's a 5-4 score. The tying runners on base. Levine is being called in here to try to hold him for Drysdale. We're in the top half of the 7th inning of the ball game here at Ebbets Field. And despite the fact that the Dodgers hold a 9-1 edge over the Cubs this year, they've really had the battle to beat the Cubs. Levine is coming in, and as Clem comes on, Al's going to run down the Schaefer scoreboard for us and give us a report on the other games. Okay, Al.
All right, Jerry. Milwaukee and the Giants at the end of 7.5 innings of play. It's 5-0 in favor of Milwaukee over the Giants. Strobridge going for Milwaukee. Gomez, McCormick, and Worthington have all pitched so far for the Giants, and Crandall and Covington have hit home runs for the ball game. Cincinnati, Philadelphia at the end of 5. It is 5-4 in favor of Cincinnati over Philadelphia. St. Louis and Pittsburgh at the end of 8.5 innings of play. It's 9-4. St. Louis leading Pittsburgh. Over in the American League, the Yankees in Cleveland at the end of 5.5 innings of play. It's the Yankees 2 and Cleveland 2. Boston and Chicago at the end of 5 innings. The White Sox are leading the Boston Red Sox 3-0. Jorgensen, however, in the 5th inning hit a home run for the White Sox. Washington Washington, Detroit. At the end of 5.5 innings of play, it is Washington 3, Detroit 1. Kemmer against Larry. Lemon and Severs at home at net ball game for Washington. Baltimore and Kansas City. Ball game delayed because of rain. The starting pitchers, however, have just been announced. Johnson for Baltimore and Arnold Portocarrero for Kansas City. Well, that's everything up to the minute, Jeff.
All right, Al, Lee Walls coming on, and when Levine came in to pitch last night in the 10th inning, Walls hit his first pitch for a home run. So now we'll see what happens. Walls waiting. Here's the pitch. Fastball is up high, ball one. Walls today has walked, been on a force play, and flied out. So he's none for two. The tying run is at first base in a 5-4 ball game here in the 7th inning, and Levine now in to relieve Drysdale. Don worked 6 2/3 innings. He allowed 4 runs, 1 earned, and 9 hits. Struck out 6, walked 2. 5-4, Dodgers lead. Walls waiting. Levine out of a stretch. The pitch up high for ball, and the count goes 2-0. Levine is making his 38th appearance of the year. His record is 4 wins, 5 losses. Earned run average 3.31. 2 balls, no strikes. Walls waiting. Levine's pitch. In for a strike at the knees, and it's 2-1. Strike, 2 outs, 1 on. Top of the 7th inning, the Cubs have scored 3 runs here. Here's the pitch. Swung on and that's strike 2. Good sinker fired in by Levine, and Walls goes for it. 2-2. Dale Long is loosening up in the bullpen. Might be that he's going to go into the lineup. He went in for a pinch hitter. As a pinch hitter for Brosnan, he may stay on. 2-2. Check of the runner. Here's the pitch. Curveball bounced through the hole to left field, and it's a base hit. So Walls is on with a single left, and the tying run advances to second base in the person of Walls Morin. Up will be Jerry Kindle. 2 up, but he may not bat. Kindle has struck out twice and lined out. Bobby Adams is going to the bat rack, and it might be he to bat here. Bobby Adams. That's what it'll be. Bobby Adams coming on to pinch hit for Kindle. Bobby, a long-time National League infielder. Pinch hitting in the 7th inning. So the Cubs have 2 on. Morin is at second. Walls is at first. And Chicago has 4 runs on 10 hits. The Dodgers have 5 runs on 5 hits. Chicago is 3 in here in the 7th inning, and it's 5-4. The Giants have scored 2 on Milwaukee in the 8th, and are still batting, and it's 5-2 in that one. Bobby Adams coming on. Was picked up from the minor league, from the Coast League by the Cubs. Bobby, a right-hand batter. 2 men aboard. Top of the 7th inning. Check to the sign and the pitch. Ground ball to shortstop. Neal with it. Down to second base in time, and the side is out. So Adams rolls out to shortstop, and the force play on Walls retires the side. In the inning for Chicago, 3 runs picked up on 4 hits. 1 error, and they left 2 on. So at the end of 6.5 innings of play, the score, the Dodgers 5 and Chicago 4. Well, a warm day, a warm Schaefer day. Al, talk to me about Schaefer.
That'll do, Jerry. You know, I was just thinking on a warm day, as you've just mentioned, the old refrigerator is a mighty useful way to keep your Schaefer beer cool and happy, just waiting for you to take it out and drink it. Only thing is, if you're going to take it out, you've got to put it in there first. And it's a real sad feeling to reach in there and find nothing. Just in your throat screaming for relief. Well, the best way I know to keep that refrigerator filled with refreshing Schaefer beer is to pick up handy Schaefer 6-packs whenever you're out shopping. You can spot them easy in the store with the gay, colorful scenes on the white truck.
You just pick them up with 2 fingers. They're so light and so easy to handle. They're easy to store, too, thanks to the neat modern design. Each one holds 6 full cans of good Schaefer beer, and when you want to get out the cans, you just flip open the perforation. It's as simple as that. The Schaefer 6-pack. Real convenience and real enjoyment, too. For those cans are filled with Schaefer beer. It's real beer. The 6 1/2 innings of play, the Brooklyn Dodgers are leading over the Chicago Cubs 5-4. They have 5 runs on 5 hits. Chicago 4 runs 10 hits. Each side has committed an error. And we move to the last half of the 7th inning. The batter standing up there right now, waiting to get things started, will be Clem Levine. We'll have a new pitcher on for the Chicago Cubs, and Jerry will tell us all about it.
All right, Al, it'll be Dick Drott doing the pitching. Dale Long stays in and batting in the number 9 spot at first base. Chuck Tanner stays in, batting in the number 8 spot, playing in left field, and Lee Walls has moved from left field to third base. So Walls is a third. And there's maybe another change for Chicago.
Number 39.
We have a new center fielder for Chicago, too, I believe. We'll wait and see. Tanner is playing in left. He stayed in the game. Bob Speak goes into the outfield, so he stays in the ball game and moves to center field. That was the missing link on the scorecard. So if you're scoring with us, Dick Drott bats in the spot of Kindle, who went out for pinch hitter Adams. Drott batting in the number 6 spot. Tanner hitting 8, Long hitting 9th, and Speak moves to center field. And Bob Will comes out. Last of the 7th inning, Levine steps in. A swing and a foul back for strike 1. The new catcher is Jim Fanning, and he's hitting in the leadoff spot. So we got them all in the book now. And this batting order for Chicago is really messed up now. Ball 1 to Levine, and it is 1 ball, 1 strike. Last of the 7th inning, Dick Drott pitching. Jim Fanning is doing the catching. Walls the third. Movies from left field. Levine swings and doesn't get it. Strike 2, 1 and 2. Walls playing third. Tanner stays in and plays in left field. Long is playing at first base, stays in. And Bob Speak moves to the outfield playing center, and Fanning bats in the leadoff spot, replacing Bob Will. And the Giants are going. They've got 4 in that inning, and still batting. Strike 3 called to Levine, and he's out on strike. Strikeout number 1 for the Chicago pitcher, Dick Drott. The Giants now trail by 1 run to Milwaukee, 5-4, and they're still batting in the last half of the 8th inning. Score 5-4. The Dodgers lead, batting in the last of the 7th inning with Charlie Neal coming on. Charlie is 0 for 2. Right-hander Dick Drott for Chicago. The windup and pitch. Curveball is in for a strike. Drott played at Los Angeles last year. He won 13 games and lost 10. Here he is 8-8 with the lead. Swinging a high fly ball on the right field line. Walborn drifting over for it, right in front of the wall near the line, and makes the catch for the out. Charlie Neal skies out. It's 2 away, and Jim Gilliam comes in. The Giants have tied him now. 5-all in the last of the 8th inning, and they're still batting. Fans here playing scoreboard with us. Put up a real cheer. The Giants have come up with 5 in the 8th and still batting against Milwaukee. It's tied at 5-5. Here's Gilliam at bat now with 2 outs in the 7th. St. Louis beat Pittsburgh today 9-4. Gilliam jumps back for a fastball, and it's ball 1. the 1-0 pitch by Drott. High pop fly on the left side. Backing up towards the third baseman, Lee Walls. Waits now and makes the catch, and the side is retired in order. So the Dodgers go down 1-2-3 before Chicago in the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. And at the end of 7, the score is Brooklyn 5 and Chicago 4. Okay, Al.
Well, remember, friends, while the Dodgers are in the West battling to stay in this red-hot pennant race, that's your chance to line up your tickets for the tremendous home games in August, starting with a 4-game series with the Giants. 3 night games at Ebbets Field and 1 in Jersey City. And your tickets are waiting for you right now. Order by mail at Box 55, Brooklyn 1, New York. Or, if you wish, drop around to any Dodger ticket office first thing Monday morning. If you've been out of town, missing all this exciting baseball, plan right now to see your Dodgers in action when they get back home. So, you hop right and get your tickets first thing Monday morning, huh? The end of 7 innings of play. The ball game has tightened up considerably. For Brooklyn, 5 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. Now for Chicago, 4 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. We go to the top half of the 8th inning with Morgan coming up for Chicago to face Clem Levine. Let's get right back to Jerry.
Okay, Al, it'll be Morgan, Tanner, who batted for Silvera, and Long, who batted for the pitcher Brosnan. For Chicago here in the 8th inning, and Levine now trying to hold him. Clem was the winning pitcher in the first game last night. Right now, Sandy Koufax gets up and starts throwing in the Dodger bullpen down in right field. A couple of left-hand batters due up, Tanner and then Long. So Koufax tunes up. All right, Levine set the pitch to Bobby Morgan, who has 1 for 3, tripled in the 4th inning, and then was stranded at third. Levine delivers, and the curve is in for strike 1. Giants 5, Milwaukee 5. The Giants still batting in the last of the 8th inning. Here's the pitch to Morgan. A swing and a foul ball bounced off to the left. Strike 2. Nothing and 2 the count on Bobby Morgan. Checks the sign. Morgan leading off in the 8th inning, and now steps out of there as Levine took a little more time than Morgan thought he should. Cincinnati 5, Philadelphia 4 at the end of 6 innings of play. The Phils got off to a 4-run lead but couldn't hold it. They're having their troubles now. They've fallen to 5th place, 2.5 back. The windup in the pitch. Outside, ball 1. 1 and 2 on Bobby Morgan. Final score, St. Louis 9 and Pittsburgh 4 to even up that series. Levine ready, delivers. Curveball is way outside, ball 2. 2 and 2 to lead off Bobby Morgan. Leading off here in the 8th inning for Chicago. Chuck Tanner hitting 8th is on deck, and Dale Long hitting in the number 9 spot to follow. Two and 2. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called. Fastball caught the inside corner, and Morgan is out looking. For Levine, strikeout number 1. The Giants settle for those 5, and it's all tied. 5-5 at the end of 8 at the Polo Grounds. Here's Chuck Tanner at bat as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning. He ripped a single to right field. And Levine ready now into the windup. Here's his pitch. A bouncer to the right side. Big hop to Gilliam. Play to first base in time, and it's 2 out. So 2 up, 2 down with Dale Long coming on, and as a pinch hitter in the 7th, he drew a walk. Levine has a 4-5 record on the year and has saved 10. And the Cubs, by the way, have had some very fine relief pitching today. If you excuse Don Kaiser had to come in and warm up, there's not too much notice. Fastball low, ball one. In the first inning, with 2 outs, Snyder walked, and Hodges hit a line drive back to the box that put a finger for starter Dave Hillman. And then Kaiser came on, took about 5-minute warm-up passes, and was immediately boxed around by the Dodgers. Doubles by Amaros and Smolder, and a single by Jackson for a 4-run inning. Since then, Brosnan held him in check, except for a home run by Jackson. The count's along, 1 ball, 1 strike. That homer by Randy is the difference right now, too. Next pitch, swung on and missed for strike 2. 1-2 on Dale Long. One ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs in the 8th inning. Dodgers lead 5-4. Curveball is outside. Ball 2. Even count now. 2-2 to Dale Long. Tomorrow to wind up the homestand. Dodgers on the road beginning Tuesday. TV games Wednesday and Thursday night from St. Louis. 8:55 on Channel 9. 2-2. Swung on, foul tip, held by Campanella, side retired. Long strikes out. Levine gets a pair in the inning. And Chicago goes down in the 8th with no runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. So at the end of 7 1/2 innings, it's Brooklyn 5 and Chicago 4. All right, Al.
Well, how about you, friend? You get into the city once in a while. You come into New York to see a show, or maybe just bring the wife in for dinner at your favorite hotel and relax a while. Well, listen, here's an idea. Why not make it a real little vacation? Sure, for real enjoyment, stop overnight at your favorite hotel. Take a day or two to see the Dodgers play right here at Ebbets Field. Catch a show or a movie you haven't seen. And maybe some of the sites you've never gotten around to. Man, sounds good, doesn't it? And you know, most anywhere you stop at New York's finer hotels and restaurants, you'll find that for real enjoyment, they're serving real beer. Schaefer beer. Sure, Schaefer's as available at your favorite eating place as it is right in your own home. So when you step out, don't forget to order Schaefer. For real enjoyment, a cool, foaming glass of real beer. Schaefer beer. Duke Snyder will be the first hitter in the last half of this 8th inning. He'll be followed by Hodges and then by Amaro. The Dodgers, hoping this will be the last time they'll have to bat, are leading in the ball game 5-4. Dick Druff, the Chicago pitcher, is ready to go, and Snyder's coming up to the plate, and Jerry's ready to go.
Okay, Al Snyder has walked twice, flied out once. So Duke today, none for 1. And the Dodgers now trying to get some insurance runs before they go to the 9th inning. Duke Snyder in waiting. Here's the windup and the pitch by drop to Duke. Curveball breaks in close, ball 1. Doubleheader tomorrow, 2 o'clock. We hope you can be here. And then our Western road trip. Ball 1 count to Snyder. Takes the next pitch low, and it's ball 2. Count on Snyder. Dick Drop for Chicago, the 4th Chicago pitcher. Catches time, Snyder waits. Down it comes. On the corner for a strike, and it's 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Got into the windup. Brooklyn's going. She's a curveball home run. Number 300. Duke Snyder gets his home run number 300 of his major league career, and he now ranks 13th in a tie with Chuck Klein, and needs 2 more to tie Roger Hornsby. And for Snyder, number 24 on the year, and he's had 8 home runs in the last 10 games. Boy, that Duke is really belting them now, isn't he? 6
4. Dodgers lead. Hodges takes a fastball. Inside, ball 1. 8 home runs in 10 games for Snyder. Duke really came to life. He's had 24 home runs now, and he's second in the league. Curveball is swung on by Gale, and it's strike 1. 1-1. The Dodgers 6 and Chicago 4 here in the last half of the 8th inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Strike 2 on a swing and a miss for Gale. 1-2. For the Dodgers now, 6 base hits and 2 home runs. Jackson had one in the 6th inning. Snyder here in the 8th. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Curve is inside, ball 2. 2-2 on Hodges. The on-deck hitter is Sandy Amorose. Milwaukee and New York tied at 5-5, playing in the 9th inning, and the Dodgers, of course, pulling for a win for the Giants and wanting to beat the Cubs so they can take over first place if that happens. Ball 3 on a curve outside and a 3-2 count on Hodges. Well, fans, it promises to be a hot weekend, so just to make sure you have enough thirst-quenching Schaefer on hand, better pick up a few Schaefer quarts. 32 ounces of golden goodness for a bottle. 3-2 to Hodges. Foul ball, straight back. Well, Milwaukee has made 2 in the 9th and now leads 7-5, so the Giants will have to do it again. 2 just posted for Milwaukee. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4, and Hodges is on with a walk. Dick drop, that is walk number 1. Up will be Sandy Amorose, who's had a double, drove in a run, walked and fouled out. So Sandy is 1 for 2 and is hitting .298. Dodgers, last of the 8th, 1 on, none out. Amorose waiting. Pitch by Drott. Fronted off the third base side, and Drott play in the first in time, and Hodges goes to second. So a sacrifice by Amorose moves Joe Hodges to second base and brings on Gino Cimoli. Gino doubled to drive in 2 in the first inning, has popped out and struck out. 1 for 3 today, hitting .299. Cincinnati 5, Philadelphia 4 at the end of 6. Milwaukee 7, New York 5, playing in the last of the 9th inning. Curveball comes in low, ball 1. Here's the pitch to Gino. High curve off the shoulder, and it's ball 2. 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes on Cimoli. Got out of a stretch. And the curve is high for ball 3. For the Cubs, it's Kirk Lown in the bullpen in left field now. Lown. Dodgers 1 run in, 1 man on, 1 man out, and lead 6-4 the last of the 8th inning. Here's the look, and the pitch to Gino. Swung on and missed for a strike, 3-1. So Gino going for the 3-0 pitch. Had a cut, but he missed it. Balls, 1 strike. Drop ready again. Belitskin, here's the pitch. Strike 2, fastball, knee high on the outside corner.
2-2, full count to Smoley with Hodges at second base, one out. Snyder has a home run this inning to give the Dodgers a 2-run edge, 6-4. Here's the pitch. Foul ball, straight back. So a full count to Smoley stays up there, 3-2. Tino waiting. Big drop to Chicago right-hander. Checks the sign from catcher Jim Fanning. Here's the look in the pitch. Inside, ball 4, and Smoley is on with a walk. Coming on now is Randy Jackson, has had a single in the home run, has driven in a pair of runs and scored one. Jackson hitting at 234. Coming on here in the last half of the 8th inning. Ransom Jackson. Hodges on second, Smoley on first. With one out here in the 8th inning. Now right-hander Dick Drott out of a stretch. Checks his runners. And the pitch to Jackson. Swung on a base hit to left center field. Will get Hodges in. As Bob Street picks up, fires in. And it's now 7-4 Dodgers. As Jackson gets his third hit of the day, a line single to left center to drive home Gil Hodges with the second run of the inning. Smoley holds the second base, and before Roy Campanella comes on, we'll pause now for station identification. This is the Brooklyn Dodgers Radio Network. Peter Tripp plays the nation's best-selling records every...
Dial 1460 WOKO Albany, the Capital District's most talked about station with downtown studios in the Hotel Wellington. And now back to Brooklyn Dodger baseball, the Dodgers and the Cubs.
Bob stepping at the mound now, and that's going to be all for Dick Drott. And we're going to have Kirk Lown come on here in the 8th inning. So he'll become the 5th Chicago pitcher used. Dick Drott worked 1 1/3 innings. Has been touched for 2 runs and has 2 runners on base charged to him. And he's allowed 2 hits, struck out 1 and walked 2. Final score, Milwaukee beat the Giants 7-5. Well, for Randy Jackson now, 10 hits and 22 at-bats since he got back to action. So Randy's been carrying a hot bat along with Gilliam and Snyder and Amaros. So Lown comes on and Dick Drott comes off, and while the change is being made, we'll call in Al for a rundown on the Schaefer scoreboard. Okay, Al.
Well, I just told the folks Milwaukee has beaten the Giants 7-5. Cincinnati, Philadelphia at the end of 7. It's 5-4 in favor of Cincinnati over Philadelphia. St. Louis defeated Pittsburgh 9-4. And at the end of 7 innings, it's still tied over in the American League between the Yankees and Cleveland. The score there is 2-2. Boston and Chicago at the end of 6.5 innings. It's 3-0. Chicago leading Boston. Washington and Detroit at the end of 6.5 innings. It is 4-3. Washington leading Detroit. Baltimore and Kansas City had their ball game start delayed because of rain, but they've gotten it underway now. With Johnson going for Baltimore and Porter Carrero for Kansas City at the end of 1 inning, there is no score. Repeating, Milwaukee defeated the Giants 7-5 this afternoon. Well, Kirk Lown is on now to pitch for the Chicago Cubs in the last half of this 8th inning. He'll be going to Roy Campanella. The score here at this particular moment is 7 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error for Brooklyn. For Chicago, 4 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. Brown's about ready to go. Campanella coming up to the plate, so let's get back to Jerry.
All right, Al. Campy has gone 0 for 2 today since he replaced Johnny Roseborough in the 4th inning. Roseborough got a foul ball on his finger and had to retire. So Lown comes on with 2 in, 2 on, 1 out. Dodgers lead 7-4. Time called as Lown wants to talk to his catcher, Jim Fanning. Get the sign straightened out. Left-hander for the Cubs down in left field looks to be Dick Littlefield. All right, conference over. Back comes Fanning. Campanella waiting. Kirk Lown set to go. Snyder started the inning with a home run. Hodges walked. Amarillo sacrificed. Smoley walked, and Jackson singled to score Hodges. Campy takes it on the corner for strike 1. Last of the 8th inning. Dodgers 7, the Cubs 4. Dodgers trying to make it 3 straight over Chicago. And 9 out of 10 against the Cubs from the West. Knuckler is low, and it's ball 1, 1-1. The only game the Dodgers have lost to the Western Clubs was that 7-3 ball game to St. Louis. On all the others here. 1-1 count. The look in the pitch. Outside on the corner for a call strike 2. Sam Harris did a bit of a delayed call that time. 1-2 to Campanella. Two strikes. Campy waits now as Lown gets set. Here's the pitch. High pop fly on the right side. Infield fly rule goes on as Dale Long and Bobby Morgan back up for it. And Morgan makes the play. So Campanella pops out to Morgan. And the batter will be Clem Labine, who was up once. He struck out in the 7th inning. So we have Samoli on second, Jackson on first base, and Labine coming on the bat. Stretch by Lown and the lips of the runners. Pitch to the plate. Swung on by Labine. Strike 1. Clem had gone too far around. He tried to hold up, but it's cost him for a strike. Samoli and Jackson on base with 2 out in the 8th inning. 2 runs in. The check again. Here's the pitch. Inside at the knees. Ball 1. 1-1. On the current streak, the Dodgers have rallied several times to pull games out of the fire. They really caught on and had a good homestand here against the West up to this point. Here's the look, the pitch to Clem. Fouled away on the ground, back of the plate. Strike 2, ball 1. Two strikes. Now again the look, and here's the pitch. Curve, strike 3. Labine caught looking, and the side retired. So for the Dodgers in the 8th inning, 2 runs picked up on 2 base hits. No errors, 2 left on. So at the end of 8 innings of play, it's 7-4. The Dodgers over Chicago. Now here's the word from Al.
Well, you know, after 9 innings of hustling out there on the ball field, the Bear kind of likes to sit back a while and just relax. Well, I guess you go for some of the same after you've been working at the job or around the house. Well, let me tell you, to really enjoy relaxing, just put a cool glass of Schaefer beer in your hand. Talk about pleasure, and that's it. A glass of golden amber Schaefer, tall and cool and topped off with a snowy white crown of foam. Why, it even looks relaxing. And when it comes to flavor, Schaefer's got it. The wonderful light and zesty flavor you want but don't always find. You see, Schaefer is brewed only of rich barley malt, tangy hops, and other fine natural ingredients. So next time you're in the mood for some really enjoyable relaxing, do it with Schaefer beer. It's real beer. The last call for the Chicago Cubs as they move to the top of the 9th inning. For Brooklyn, 7 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. And for Chicago, 4 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. Jim Fanning coming up to the plate now as the leadoff man for Chicago. Let's get back to Jerry.
Okay, Al. Labine ready to pitch to him. The pitcher swung on him. This strike 1. Milwaukee got 2 in the 9th, as we told you, to beat the Giants, 7-5. The winning pitcher, Johnson. The loser was Griffin. 7-9-1 for Milwaukee and 5-8-0 for New York. And Covington hit a home run in the 9th inning with 1 on to win it. That was his second of the game. Here's strike 2, fired into Fanning, and it's 0-2. Labine trying to get his 11th save of the year to hold this one for Don Drysdale's 8th win. Dodgers lead 7-4 in the 9th. Here's the pitch. Curveball tapped on the third baseline, foul. At the end of 7 innings of play, it's still Cincinnati 5 and Philadelphia 4. Well, let's see. The Dodgers, by winning, have not gained on St. Louis if they win, and they have not gained on Milwaukee. But they can gain on the loser of the Cincinnati-Philadelphia game. Those two clubs in 4th and 5th. Devine ready, strike 2 count to Fanning. Curve outside, ball 1. 1 and 2. Fanning at bat, Bob Speak on deck, and Ernie Banks to follow. Devine ready, the 1-2 pitch. Curveball is in and over, strike 3 as Fanning sat down in the batter's box trying to get away from the pitch. And the curve broke so much that it hit the inside corner as Fanning fell down trying to back up from it. Boy, Levine really sent that one in there, rolled it off the table. For Levine, strikeout number 3. Fanning was having no part of that one, and it caught the strike zone. Here's Bob Speak at bat now. He has 1 hit, 4 tries. So in the 9th inning, 1 out, none on. Levine ready. Here's the pitch. Fastball is outside. Ball 1. Levine had a good start. He won 3 in a row, then he lost 5 in a row and was ineffective in relief for a while, but last night he came on to get a win. There's a ground ball to the right side. 1 big bounce to Gilliam. Play to first, and that's 2 out. Ernie Banks coming on. Had a double in the 1st inning and a home run in the 7th inning with 2 on. Fans get up now, start turning around, breaking for the exits because the Dodgers have this one. 7-4 score. We're in the top of the 9th with 2 outs, and Levine pitching to Banks. Ernie takes a fastball for a strike on the inside corner. Levine ready. Banks leans in over the plate, and the fastball is outside. Ball 1. 2 tomorrow, fans. Doubleheader. Game time, 2 o'clock. One ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. High fly ball to left field, and this one could go all the way. Ambrose backs up for it, but it's gone for a home run for Ernie Banks, the 2nd of the day, and his 20th of the season. Banks had one in the 7th inning and now gets one here in the 9th inning. So the 2 runs the Dodgers got in the 8th inning were certainly needed because that is run number 5 for Chicago, and the Dodgers went to the 8th, leading 5-4. So Banks with his 2nd home run, and he also has a double today, and he struck out twice. Here's Walt Morin at bat with a 7-5 score. Off Levine, run number 1, and hit number 1. Here's the pitch. Morin takes it outside. Ball 1. Banks has driven in 4 of the 5 Chicago runs and set up the other one with a double. That moves Bob Speak to 3rd. Ball 1 count. Morin waits. Here's the pitch. Outside. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes on Walt Morin. Well, of course, now, if the Cubs get a base runner, then the tying run comes to bat. And if Morin gets on, that would be Lee Walls. 2 outs from the 9th. 7-5, Dodgers lead. Here's the pitch. Bouncer up the first baseline. Hodges makes the play, feeds Levine. Ball game is over. In the 9th for Chicago, 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and 10 left on. So the Dodgers make it 3 in a row over the Cubs, winning today 7-5 as Levine comes in and holds them for Don Drysdale with Dave Hillman taking the loss. And now to total them up for you and give you the final recap, here's Al.
All right, Jerry, the Brooklyn Dodger win goes to Don Drysdale. The Dodgers, 7 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, 5 men left on. For Chicago, 5 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. They stranded 8 this afternoon before a paid crowd of 6,758. The losing pitcher starter Dave Hillman. His record is now 1-7. 1 wins in
This was his 7th loss. Don Drysdale has now picked up his 8th win against 6 losses. This will be the 3rd time he has beaten Chicago from the Bayern saves his 11th ball game. And the Dodgers win at 7-5. So they have 3 of the 3 that these two clubs have played. Tomorrow they'll wind it up with a doubleheader right here at Ebbets Field. First game starting at 2 o'clock. We hope you'll be right here with us. Well, that's all there is to listen this afternoon. We'll be sending more play-by-play your way tomorrow afternoon at 1:55 o'clock when the Brooklyn Dodgers are going to meet the Chicago Cubs right here at Ebbets Field. You'll be sure to be on hand. Meantime, this is Al Helfer along with Jerry Duckett, Vince Scully, speaking for the American Tobacco Company. Tobacco is our middle name. And on behalf of Lucky Strike, the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked. And for the F&M Schaefer Brewing Company, brewers of America's oldest lager beer. Schaefer. Between now and then, whenever you're thirsty for real enjoyment, make it Schaefer. It's real beer.
For real enjoyment.
Hello.
Get Schaefer beer. For real enjoyment. Ask for Schaefer.
It's real beer.
For real refreshment.
Say it.
Get Schaefer beer. For real refreshment. Ask for Schaefer.
It's